tell them pipe down. Or it's lights out, zeros on the debit, baby, all I do is swipe now. Gucci sweater 5,000, stunning, buzzing. I be going up, no ceiling. Wow, ballin', running, getting to the paper, I'm peeling out. They gon' know me as legendary. You in the stands, I ain't need no commentary. They gon' know me as legendary. You in the stands, I ain't need no commentary. Ain't no option, ain't no secondary. I just throw it out like a Hail Mary. Legendary.
They got players in every single corner of the map right now. To London is Afro.
And oh my god, there are just a legion of players here. Peekaboo, I've been here the whole time.
Well, Texas. If it isn't you, and you're still here, but do we have a game for you, friends? This has been a crazy weekend, right? Crazy. Like, no, I didn't see any of this coming. Paris, madness. We're gonna have a great game later on today, but for now we're gonna keep things rolling with a really fun one. We've got none other than the Kings of the North and a team who are very, very familiar with royalty themselves, the London Royal Ravens. And they're gonna be going toe-to-toe, and it's gonna be one hell of a show. We ready? You sound pretty ready. Let's bring them out. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the London Royal Ravens! We got Zero, we got Nastie, Gismo, and Afro.
I don't know what that move was, but that was something on stage. Gismo, you're looking confident, but it looked kind of like Miles was the Undertaker there. He was like, all right, everybody's walking out behind him. Here they go, here they are, the boys in red. London Royal Ravens. Gismo looking to slam Cammy through a table.
Yo, Miles, I know that London are ready, but Toronto, they want to take that stage by storm.
Oh, they can't wait. I hope they're not too keen, because I'm still out here. I better get out of the way. But here we go. Welcome them to the stage, the Kings of the North, Toronto Ultra. We're Kleenex, Insight, Cammy, and Bats.
When it comes to flashy plays and teamwork, Nameless, this team has it all.
This team is absolutely disgusting, and we saw what Ben said in that interview. He's 1 in 9 against 0 in matches on land, so he's going to want to turn that around and win this one, man. I can't wait.
This is going to be a battle between two titans, Miles. I can't wait to get this going.
There's a lot of friendly rivalry on this stage, but now that it's all said and done, it's going to be strictly business. Now, speaking of strictly business, it's about time to throw to our casters. Bryce, Tud, take it away.
Oh. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. As you can see, today we can't possibly be biased. We have managed to get in a lovely sweet spot where it's two European teams. And this is going to be an incredible matchup. Not only is the opinions split from experts to fans on who's going to walk away with this, but even ourselves have no idea, genuinely no idea how it's going to go.
We may well be in different jerseys and regalia from both the teams, but neither of us really know which way this one is going to go. What a series this is going to be in the winners bracket side of things between London and Ultra. It's the new dogs against the guys who have really established themselves as one of the top teams in the league. But my goodness me, I think the whole community, the desk, us, everybody is split on which way they think this one will go.
And here's a reason for this, right? When you look at these two teams in context, the Ravens have the statistical advantage. Everything stats-wise says Ravens for this one. They're higher in the rankings, they're higher in the seeds, but Ultra have been here for a while, have been doing it atop for a longer time.
We can delve into it a little bit more, but let's have a look at the maps and modes to kick things off. We heard Ban say it, Berlin, we're squaring up, and that's going to be map number 4. But before that, we do have 3 to go. Kuavo Hardpoint, Berlin, Search and Destroy. Kuavo Control will end on Desert Siege, Search and Destroy. It's such a precarious one because you know, you look at the search stats coming out of Ravens, they're phenomenal. But how good was Insight with the sniper over the weekend so far? That change-up has really worked out for Ultra. So I'm completely split when it comes to the search and destroys, when it comes to the controls. But if I was to lean in one direction for the hard points, it's hard not to say the London Royal Ravens.
No, you're 100% right. You are 100% right. And that's what's making this such a difficult matchup for an awful lot of people to figure out how it's going to go down. For me, personally, looking at these two teams, the thing that's really kind of focusing for me is that, yes, both teams want to win, but they kind of really want to win this one. They know bragging rights are up for it. They know their contemporaries, the European players, they're all going to get those bragging rights at the end of this one. But it's enough guessing. It's enough kind of pondering and thinking about how it could potentially go. Because it is time to get into this first one. Of course, straight on to Kuavo, hard points. These two teams at the moment, you can see it's the Ravens refuse to rotate. Ultra don't do it either. Hold percentage third and fourth, break first and seventh. That could be the deciding factor for this one.
I mean, that break percentage comes in because of the slaying ability of the London Royal Ravens. Every single player, not just in the hard point, we're talking hard point, S&D, control, positive, 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 across the board. They do not get outslayed. Ultra, though, they're the team that you will look at as a team who, if they do get outslayed, they can still win games comfortably. It's the ultimate matchup against slaying and teamwork. And it's all the way in Europe, but we're here in Texas today. And into Kuavo we go. It's Ravens up against Ultra.
Already the trades coming straight in at P1. Both teams throwing bodies at it as well. Gismo and Nastie, though, combine and take that first control. Cammy's here trying to slow it down eventually. Does get traded out. It will be the Ravens who gain first blood.
Gismo's somebody who plays with a lot of confidence, and he's going to need it here today. We've already heard the comments coming out. He's like, I'm going to fry Cammy through a table or slam him through a table, whatever it is, but he's challenging everything and eventually will go down. The initial time goes over to the London Royal Ravens. They're holding this strong. The push from Ultra is coming.
Here we go. This is a huge push coming in. Look at the stack coming through. They fly in here. And this is what Ultra are known for. Concentrated hits all across the map. They do gain the scrap time here as well. And now they've got to kick into action. It's about the rotation of both.
Over towards P2 we go. Cammy's the only one there momentarily for Ultra. He gets wiped out. London do have that rotation. Kleenex looking to cut off the head of the snake. And my goodness, Nastie. Big kill coming on through. Nastie finding the kill at the Kleenex. And now it's going to have to be a retake from Ultra. Ravens are the first ones there.
Oh, there's Nate's what's coming in already for the Ultra. But it will be the Ravens with the control to begin with. You can already see Bant has managed to break his way through. It's trying to back him up with some control on the top of the boat, but nobody's there at the moment.
I mean, every time we see Nastie on the other side of a gunfight, he seems to be winning it, and he's one of those players we talked about so consistently. It's always Gismo. Everybody's been talking about Gismo and Afro. Nastie hasn't had much of a look in, but so far so good in this series and over the weekend. Zero with a good start as well at 5-2, and Ravens controlling it as Gismo slips the net once more. Round the back end, he's got to be the one that makes the play here. For the London Royal Ravens, they're like ships in the night as him and Kleenex.
Gismo finds Cammy, but it's not going to be enough. It gets taken down before he can do any damage. The Ultra get this rotation. They will hold on to it to begin with. They are trying to get some more kills in that kill feed. It will now be on the London Royal Ravens to try and make the next push.
Yeah, well, the break-in percentage, we've seen it so many times. We've seen examples of it so many times. They are so good at breaking these hills, but this is going to be quite difficult. Toronto, the trenches are dug. They are deep inside. There's P3 rotation. Afro and Co cannot find a way through. It's been all Ultra here over towards P3. And this is some solid time being racked up. Cammy inside the hill. This is looking like a lead change coming up in a second. They're forcing it out as well. Keep an eye on Kleenex as he's getting aggressive over towards the next hill. Eventually will fall, but Ultra can spread their wings. They can push out. They can get map control and the lead as well. Good hold from Toronto Ultra.
On the streak as well, and now eventually going to be taken down. But look at it, holding this top boat though. And this is where it gets a little bit difficult. Ultra are going to try and hit this correctly and get the trades. At the moment, London, they've dug their trenches. They are ready to hold firm on this. They know the points are available. And it's going to be a slow crawl for the Ultra. They want to get in position. Inside opens it up though. He's going to take down Nastie. You can already see that pressure starting coming from Bats. Gismo trying to thread the needle.
Just trying to find some angles. Ultra taking their time with this break. You can't rush it. Gismo Finds one on the inside. Keep an eye on Cammy out towards the beach, though. Has he got round the back? Has Nastie been caught out? He didn't see him, and here he is. Cammy round the back. Here's the rest of Ultra now coming on through. Zero with a big kill. And it looks like London will hold, but Kleenex in the front. It's Trey, Zero, Morris once again.
And they hold. They hold. The London Royal Ravens continue to hold on here. Refusing to let Ultra come through. They manage to get a ton of kills into the middle, but it will be Trey or Zero who manages to hold firm here, and then the Ravens go back into the lead as we head into our next rotation.
It's back and forth. The pendulum swings left and right between these two so far. It's very much been about the rotations that have come on in. Both these teams very good at breaking, as we've mentioned multiple times, but it's been very rotational heavy. Whoever gets there first has been locking in a lot of time. AR's very much on point in this scenario. Zero having a good game for the Ravens here at 10 and 5. On the other side, Kleenex with the SMG. He's the guy getting it done. But so far, this control from Ultra looks so good once again. And it's when you get over towards screen, you get that control towards the back. If you have both control as well, it's the ultimate setup. But let's go here for Ravens. They find a couple of kills on the outside. Can they find a breakthrough?
Well, the #1 break team in hardpoint for the CDL are now going to try and throw their medal against the Ultra. They've already given away 30 seconds, but here they come back to get 1 and 2, but no. Gismo and Nastie now combine. Eventually, Cammy shuts it down. No time coming through. Nastie gets his 3rd one on the Ultra. Now looking for inside coming around the corner, but inside is equal to it as both teams pile in for this scrap time.
Oh, Ravens don't get any points on the board here over towards P4 until there's 15 seconds left. A phenomenal hold from Ultra once more, and we go into another rotation, but here we go from behind. It's going to be Pants coming in through the side. Zero finds an important kill. Ravens need to be here. They need to find these kills. It's a slight lead over towards the Ravens. The contestant is still here. Zero still surviving. Eventually does go down. It's a clean wipe for Toronto Ultra. Ravens being forced away.
And even all the way into the second rotation, there is no daylight between these two teams, and that's exactly what we wanted to see coming into it. It is now going to be the turn of the Ravens to try and get it, but they try and they get shut down. Kleenex shutting down the beach. Says no, thank you, keep away from this. Maybe we'll see you P2 if you're lucky.
Yeah, they're really forcing them out over towards that P4 spawn as well. Don't want them to find a way through. My goodness, Nastie. It's a big gunfight win. They'll get control of P1, and it's only Insight left momentarily. Big gunfight going to be going on over towards the other hill. Insight finds 2, but Nastie will eventually clean them up. And these fights over towards the boat, they go towards Ultra. And can they lock it in again? You can see how advanced they're getting up on the map as that final 10 will go over towards the Ravens. But can Ultra lock in here, P2?
This is a big push for them as well. Both teams, of course, trying to get every single point out of this they can. But let's jump on board with the Toronto Ultra for a listen in.
LCS 2, 1 on all,
Trace
on all.
Hold,
Nice.
Top out, yeah.
Top ball.
That's 4. Last guy.
Already clip. Wait, absolute.
What do you mean, get?
Out I can get time.
That's one hit me in the right, that's one. He's gonna bring.
Yeah, get near Jimmy.
Nastie's already, but Nastie's gone. Hold.
I'm coming. I'm just coming to sack with you. Fuck it.
Hit him once.
Top ring.
Ah, got me in time, Afro.
Trade on ring. Am I going to do?
Afro, no.
Mid absolute. Joey's gone. He's pushing. Pushing S2 absolute. S2 still. S2 tanks.
S2 tank. I don't see him.
S2 tank.
Trace in here.
Afro's old.
I might try to cut him
Afro's old weak. Afro's old
Behind the tech now, I think.
Okay, yeah. He's weak. It's gonna be
still
mid top, Nasty.
Nasty
top.
Yeah, I think it's mid tank, bro.
Still mid tank. Nice, well played.
Just wait. He's got nades over.
And it's on tank.
I'm naded. Naded tank.
I need a tank.
On the stairs, though.
We can tank.
Nice.
One's on the rock.
On the rock. But then,
Nice.
Top ring.
Top ring, Nasty, top ring.
Afro's hit down. No, he's got back. 2.
I'm on shot, mate.
One more outer ring. We're still
Look
over
for
Afro.
Afro's pinch.
Mid cut, maybe. I still top ring. One top ring.
Top ring weak, one pinch me, top
Nice.
cut.
Top cut.
Nice, he was really weak top ring, by the way.
Yeah.
It's a big time.
I went left already, bro.
It's on your push, yeah, go play top ring.
Push close.
Go push.
Nice. Let's go now.
Go push.
Already
Nasty top.
Nice.
Nice, should Cappy push up.
Yeah, I'm going by the way.
Could already be clipped, by the way.
I'm going low. They can be top board, Jimmy. Top ring, sorry.
Yeah.
They
if you can.
need to be in
They're playing
there.
deep, they're going to play deep.
Yeah.
I'm just staying live cliff right now.
One deep, yeah, deep rock.
I stop. Yeah,
I'm name time. You got name.
Yeah,
Need the right.
I'm waiting on the right here.
back. I need it back left, bro. Still top.
Deep rock, I'm pretty sure.
Looking at it, I don't see him deep right.
Top absolute, bro. Top absolute. It's on the left, close left. Hold to it. He's pushing you out, Toby.
Well, that's about as plus as you will ever hear the Ultra comms because it is heating up in this map. They're now going for another push. The Ravens need this hold. They're only about 20 points behind, and you can see the pressure coming in from Ultra. They are trying desperately to dig them out of this hill, and they are failing under the guns, but Cammy gets 2. Gismo now around the back looking for Cammy. Nastie gets 1 as well. And the Ravens are bringing this back to all square.
Every single hill they're going over towards it. Whoever's there first, they cannot break through. Every single time they locked it in, but here we go for Ultra. They're going to find a way in here. Zero has to go. Massive and finds 3. Huge plays from him, and Ravens will find a lead once more. Both these teams, have, as said, they've just been trading hill back and forth, back and forth. Once they're in, they lock it in. But when we get closer to that 250-point mark, expect things to get quick and get quick fast.
Well, we've spoken before, the London Royal Ravens are the #1 break team in the CDL, and if they are going to live up to that statistic, now is the time. The Ultra are ready, they've got map control, they've got the hill as well. Trades are starting to go down across the map, it's CleanX again. The Ultra, Cammy, not going to be able to do it. Nastie's opened a gap for them. The Ultra are now spawning out. It is going to be the Ravens who are in a position. They're going to jump straight into now. They can't actually win it here, though. And Bats is still alive.
Bats is still alive, still surviving. Gismo and Co, they will find that break. It's the first time we've seen a good chunk of time that can be won by the Ravens from a break. But my goodness, Cammy on the boat. Now going to push forward. Can he find Zero? Can he clear them out? Check your corners. Doesn't check the right one. Ravens hold. 15 points to go here. It's going to be on P1 as we go there for the 3rd time.
Inside is ready. He's the only player here. He cleaned out Afro just a few seconds ago. Keep an eye though. Nastie might make a play. A hero play for the Ravens. He needs reinforcements. He's all alone in a sea of Ultra. He's looking for it. He's in the flank. There's the first. Looking for the second. It's not going to be good enough. The reinforcements coming in. It's Afro for the Ravens again.
Trading 2 for 2. Zero is there. Afro inside. CleanX goes huge. Finds 2. Ravens find themselves inside. Ultra need to get it going very, very quickly. 7 points away. Where are the Ultra? They're nowhere to be seen.
Not here.
Can they get there in time? Insight's diving for the line. Gets inside. Can they hold it? Yes, they can. And the London Royal Ravens take map #1.
And that's about as close a game of hardpoint as you are ever likely to see. We are talking millimeters, not inches. It is unreal how close that game was going to be, but London walk away. And that is everything we expected it to be.
It is. These are the maps that they need to come in and win. They just about get it done. It's a 15-point game. And it was quite a strange one. We didn't necessarily see any huge pop-offs from anybody in particular. It was very much about getting those rotations nailed in. When you did, they were holding. It was very, very hard for either one of these teams to find a break. Very, very well played. Honestly, from both teams in terms of a game of hardpoint, it just came down to that final rotation over towards P5. Over towards green where they broke through. Ravens managed to get that little bit extra of time after Ultra found that rotation. The gunfights come through over towards P1 on our 3rd rotation of hills, and it's the Royal Ravens who look out.
It certainly is, and we can take a look at that last 45 seconds again here, because this is insane. We kept speaking about the Ravens and their break potential. They hold it down, they managed to get this point, and we thought, hey, maybe Ultra will hold down P1, maybe they have the ability, but no. In come the Ravens, and it was a slugger match up top. You're about to see it. Keep an eye, because obviously Nastie was in a great position. Got 1, and he bought just enough time for the trades to come in. The Ravens were able to get bodies there. Afro came in with 2. Huge plays in the end.
Yeah, for Nastie, that's just a really, really quick turnaround from CleanX and Bants that didn't find that breakthrough necessarily, but Afro finding his breakthrough, and Gismo, the last one remaining, finds that last kill that you needed to get locked in, and all of a sudden the Ravens are there, they're locking it in, and it's up to Insight. And he's running shoes on, he gets inside, but nobody there from the rest of the Ultra squad. Royal Ravens will have known though, heading into this game, hardpoint are the maps they need to take. But both teams proficient in search and destroy, specifically Ultra a little bit more last year, but of course, so far this weekend, we've seen already good S&D games out of them. They'll be heading into map #2, looking at even the score.
Yeah, they certainly will, of course. Going into this next one, a lot of people had the Ravens taking the hard point. It's basically the statistical safe bet, but going into the Berlin S&D, If Ultra want to take this series, this is the start. They're going to have to win it against the Ravens because we're not really favoring them against the next hardpoint either.
Has to be said though, it's very, very close, all things considered. It does come down to Kuavo. It's one of those maps that is pretty much one of those that is very rotational heavy, and not in comparison to something like Bocage. And this time around, it's the Ravens who get it done. When we've actually questioned their rotational policies, really, haven't we, on multiple occasions. This time, though, it does work out for them before we head into a Berlin search and destroy.
It certainly does, but let's look at the statistics for this one, and well, that speaks volumes already. This is the reason, before this game, we said the statistics are heavily in favor of the London Royal Ravens. First in round win, first in first blood, and first in 4v3 win.
It's all very, very important statistics, but if you were to look at the Ultras so far this weekend, their game up against LA Thieves, they were phenomenal in search and destroy. So 7th, 5th, and 8th, I don't read into it too much. Yes, okay, the first place is there for the Royal Ravens on each and every single one of those stats. A nice reading if you are a Ravens fan. But Ultra, they know what they're doing. The sniping of Insight has been influential to their gameplay. And will they be able to make it count here in map number 2? It is one of these scenarios where it's difficult for the Ultra looking at those stats, but they know that Insight has been lights out so far.
They certainly have. Let's have a look, though, at Nastie versus Insight and how those two players match up going into our search and destroy. KD's in the top percentile, 1.21, 1.17. Kills per round, it's not a million difference either, but the first bloods, Nastie has been performing lights out so far.
I'd like to see Insights for this weekend so far in these 2 games of Search and Destroy. It's a lot better than a 1.17, I will tell you that. But when it does come down to snipers, yes, Berlin, it's very informational. That sort of thing that you can gain with that sniper. But do we see as many picks in this map specifically as we have done in some of the previous? For Insight, maybe not. He has been a big catalyst in the search and destroys. Can he get it done with this one so far? London Royal Ravens, it's not a good record for them when it does come down to Berlin search and destroy. And Ultra will know that.
And that's the crazy thing for this one. Obviously, these two have picked this map specifically. Neither have a good record on it. And this is one of the things we were going to talk about, actually. KD ranks of both these two teams. The London Royal Ravens, all above a 1. Fantastic KD ranks. Ultra, all below. But is it gunny or is it positional? We're about to find out who walks away in this one. Time to get into the search and destroy on board with Vance.
The kick coming in on the outside over towards A, straight through the doors. The trade going to be there. Yes, it is. Vance very much the sacrificial lamb in that scenario. Now that bomb may well go down. Afro lines it up. Not going to find anything. That bomb will find its way down. It's a 3v3 retake here for the London Royal Ravens.
Insight currently in no man's land, about as far away from that point as you could possibly be. That does mean they are outnumbered, but not outgunned. CleanX managed to find the first one. Players now coming through as well, but Zero's managed to get it. It does mean he's going to be alone. CleanX needs reinforcements from inside at some point. Afro dipped. Oh my God! How about that slide cancel? It's all on Insight though. He's been magic before. Can he be magic again?
Oh, has he slipped the net here? It looks like he has. Finds the kill. Is he going to get away as well? That's huge. And Insight will surely just run this time down. Will not check it, does not need to. Checks it in the end, and Afro in there. That's a round over towards Ultra. Gunfight ensues. It is Afro who wins it, but the round goes over towards the other side of the Atlantic with Ultra.
I'm going to be honest with you, Insight, it's so clutching. It's starting to become the norm, not just an exception. Over and over again, Insight is the man. But what a round. I mean, that tactic, by the way, Insight was so far away that they were outnumbered for the majority of it.
It's a huge worry, because if that happens and then it comes down to the scenario where somebody dies on your team in that scenario, you're in a really tough spot. But I do believe, unfortunately, we do have a small issue. We will come back to the game in just a moment, but really good round there from Ultra. Managed to find their way back in after an initial very, very good break from the London Royal Ravens, but nonetheless, I think Ultra will be happy to get that round away.
Yeah, close round as well. There was a lot of things that could have gone wrong for them. Obviously, Insight.
Yeah, that's the one.
Found basically a magical tunnel to get into it. They shouldn't have been able to, really. They had to play a ticket, the Ravens. They just didn't miss him. That little bit of COD timing. Sometimes it works wonders.
A lot of people inside the venue here Saturday. Things are just getting better. And we're very, very excited for the rest of the day, as you all are too here. Of course, and at home, we're just so thrilled to be here in this game. I had to take the jacket off, things are getting a bit sweaty, it has to be said. And what a game it has been so far, very much looking forward to the rest of it, and we honestly do see this potentially going down to the wire. We're talking about Ultra and the S&Ds and the control, and then we're obviously talking about the Ravens and the Hardpoint and the S&D. It's kind of a flip in that scenario. It's hard to judge the control. Look, honestly, it's just quite difficult to figure out who's going to win it. Ravens with that first blood, though, is something we did expect.
Yeah, I'm just going to say it's quite suspicious, to be fair, that Ravens win that first map and suddenly the jacket comes off. Like,
I mean, if you're trying to call me out for being biased today, it's happened before, it has to be said. Look, we just love Call of Duty.
We do.
Maybe European Call of Duty just that little bit more. But look, at the same time, we're very, very excited to be jumping in on this one. It was just kind of coincidental that we got this game. It was in the schedule. It's how it worked out. But the next game coming up as well, we can talk about that later on. How good of a game is that going to be between OpTic and FaZe? Of course, the winners of both games will face off in the winners of bracket final tomorrow, which will be so exciting. But the losers of both games have some games to go today. Let's have a look at that bracket and see who is still remaining here at the OpTic Major. And my goodness, it is really heating up. And for me, yes, I look at that winner's side of things. I look at FaZe, OpTic, Ravens, and Ultra, and look at that shark at the bottom of your screen in Thieves. Since their loss to Ultra on Thursday, they have looked lights out. And they are a dangerous prospect of whoever drops between FaZe or OpTic. And in the venue, who do you think's dropping up against Thieves, though? I wonder. Is it FaZe, you would think? Nobody's... You're not even replying to me. That means it must be OpTic dropping in, is it? OpTic 3, oh! I'm sure the desk will have something to say about that, but ultimately, very excited to see how that game does go down. Heading into this one, though, back focused here. Yeah. Ultra, with the disadvantage, has to be said, not looking good, but the S&D, they find themselves in the lead. Can they make this count? We'll get the lobby back up and running, and let's see how things are going to break down the rest of the Search and Destroy.
Yeah, one of the things also coming into this game here, and we've talked about it a little bit in the past, is Ultra's performance on LAN. That's where they want to be. They're desperate to get into this scenario. You've got to remember they are the Kickoff Classic champions as well. Series record of 15-9. Map record 61-53. Grand finals made though. They've made 3. They elevated themselves to one of the very best teams in the entire CDL last year, and they've continued that performance.
Very clutch team when it does come to these LAN events. They're one of the most dangerous and very much the second best team of last year. They would have liked to have got themselves maybe a few more wins and of course a major, which it was looking destined they were going to find until, well, the Røkkr decided to turn up in that series. Nonetheless, they've got a shot here, and I think we've talked about it so much already. There's so many teams here that could go on to win this event. FaZe will be the favorites, but there's still a lot of teams who'll be vying for that spot come tomorrow.
And it's tense between these two, by the way.
Like,
it is. Like, it's all fun and games.
Gismo doesn't look tense right now.
It's all friendly, but bearing in mind the bragging rights between these two, it's a very serious thing. They'll remember it for an awful lot of time. We've already spoken about the record between Zero and Bance. Obviously, it's not really ever gone in the favor of Bance. Only one time, all the way back in Black Ops 3, has he ever beating Zero on LAN. Will today be the second, or will it be double digits for Zero?
It's quite the feat, really, isn't it? Considering, you know, the teams that they've had, you would argue that as of more recent, Bance has necessarily been the more successful. But when it does come up against matchups against each other, it is difficult to argue against Trey. It has to be said. But we're back in now to map number 2. I do believe we'll be going back in with a lead, of course, for the side of Ultra as we load into Berlin once more.
All right, well, let's get back into this one, of course, and we've already talked about the statistics for S&D and everything else. It does go in favor of London. And just to confirm for everybody watching at home and everybody in the venue, as we go back into this game, the Ultra will be leading the S&D 1-0.
How's this going to break down as we jump back in? Will be Ultra with the chance to find themselves an attack here. I'm very curious, these Search and Destroys, they need to be Ultras, really. You don't necessarily chalk map 1 and 4 up, of course. But back into it we go. The gameplay continues, hopefully uninterrupted this time.
Our Clinic's about to come under an awful lot of pressure. The Ravens are ready and waiting already. The pre-fire coming through. No plans to be all around him, and Nastie gets that first blood. Zero gets banned as well. Cammy managed to get one back here, but they are now outnumbered. It is all going to be London.
Cammy looking to try and find the pick, has to be careful of these stairs. Easy pickings for Afro. Kill comes on through. It's a 1v3 from Insight. You wouldn't count him out in the form that he has been so far this weekend, but 2 guns on him. There's one. Can find Zero. Suddenly gets interesting. Plenty of time, Bryce.
Surely not again. Surely not again. There is just no way Insight is going to be able to clutch one more time in this. They're looking for him, and they are now playing the time. London don't even want to give it an opportunity. He's going to go straight in for it as well. Try and get him, but that's a crossfire. And that will be London who win that round. And, well. 1-1.
What cable you kicked? What have you done?
It's 1-1. That's what we can say.
Surely,
right?
surely
1-1.
it was. Yeah, they found the kill. You would have thought so. But apologies to everybody at home, of course, inside the venue. We'll get things back up and running. Stunting the momentum just a little bit, but very interested to see, though, of course, from the side of Ultra. Once again, Insight's that guy that's playing on the island a little bit. He's the one that's going to be left last alive, and it's very, very difficult to find anything there from him. But this sort of thing, I'm trying to think, you know, when we talk about it, the game as a whole. Yes, okay, that hard point comes through for the Ravens. Does this slow down their momentum? It's not necessarily, it's not gamesmanship, obviously, but in previous games, you've seen people maybe taking a little bit longer at the toilet, blah, 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 taking time in between games when they do lose a map, just to try and stunt that progress of the team. Confidence, momentum is a huge thing in Call of Duty. And this thing, I'd say it probably suits Ultra that little bit more. Well, and that team looks fierce, to be honest.
I'll just in really good spirits, but I actually want to talk a little bit about that last round, if I can. So, essentially, you know, we talk about clutches in Call of Duty. They're theoretically never really supposed to happen. You're supposed to be able to use that number advantage to make sure you win that round every single time. And I like the way the Ravens kind of gave up and said, hey, even when we have the numbers, we need to play this safe. Every sort of tactical come out, every sort of grenade come out. Afro, even when he threw the shuttle, was like, yeah, I'm not even going to pretend to try and challenge. I'm not going to give him any chance to get a clutch against us. Zero backed up into the door. They went basically facing each other in a crossfire and like, look, we cannot lose this if we stick together.
Absolutely not. Fantastic stuff from the side of Ravens, denying the opportunity for the clutch to come through. But we're going to get a couple of things sorted out here. We're going to go for a very quick break, but we'll be resuming the Search and Destroy after this 1 minute break. We'll be back in just a second.
When you compete as long as I have, you learn a thing or two. You learn success isn't something you're given, it's something earned. Visit zenny.com/CDL to get a pair of Røkkr Zennies or any of your other favorite CDL teams today.
Haters talking to me, tell them pipe down. Or it's lights out, zeros on the debit, baby, all I do is swipe now. Gucci sweater 5,000, stunning, buzzing. I be going up, no ceiling. Wow, ballin', running, getting to the paper, I'm peeling out. They gon' know me as legendary. You in the stands, I ain't need no commentary. They gon' know me as legendary. You in the stands, I ain't need no commentary. Ain't no option, ain't no secondary. I just throw it out like a Hail Mary. Legendary.
They got players in every single corner of the map right now. To London is Afro.
And oh my god, there are just a legion of players here. Peekaboo, I've been here the whole time! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the OpTic Major. This is the Call of Duty League, and we have the Ravens versus Ultra going on our main stage with our wonderful, wonderful in-house crowd. They're all ready, they're all good, they are excited for these games to get underway, and so are we, but we've got a few minutes before that as we make sure everything is working this time. Fingers crossed here on the main stage, Tom.
Yeah, we're running out a couple of problems. It's a little bit unfortunate. I went a bit Clint there, didn't I? But yes, it's been a bit of a weird one. We've been back and forth with the crashes. It's happened a couple of times, it has to be said, but the teams are getting involved on social media, though they've noted it as well, unfortunately. Is this giving anybody, one of these indications of how it's going to go? Well, the London Royal Ravens, has to be said. I'm a big Pad fan. The guy who was the social media manager at the London Royal Ravens, getting on board with it, and yeah, it's just look. Should we just reset from 0-0? Is that what we're saying?
Well, here's the interesting thing. Obviously, the teams are talking about these crashing here, and nobody at the moment has really got to the culprit of it. Because let's face it, Maven is back, and this is happening. I'm just saying, there's a connection there somewhere.
Did it really happen much at kickoff? I don't think it did. I heard he's back there just kicking LAN cables all over the place. But yes, we've been actually on occasion accused of being biased towards European teams, but
yeah, I don't know why.
I don't get where they get it from, to be frank with you. But it was one of those scenarios we just thought, well, we can't be biased. Yeah, really, can we? Yeah. They're all literally from Europe, so it works out perfectly.
Yeah, so we decided to dress up for the occasion. It's not something we get to do very often, but we jump into it, and as you can tell, the teams are a little bit divided on this. Funny story actually coming into it. We did go around and we do occasionally talk to the teams before the game and trying to get it, and I had to borrow this off the Ultra as well. And after we got our outfits, we weren't allowed in the other team's dressing room, so we kind of got banned.
I've known Marky B for years, and he said some choice words to me backstage when he seen the Ravens jersey. Look, it's just a bit of fun, that's all it is. There's no favoritism here.
This actually works out really well for us, and this is something people probably don't know coming into it. Well, first of all, I am not stylish at all, so being given clothes to wear always works out. Probably tell I'm not stylish from my hair. But also, something you probably don't know about Tun is Tun came to this event. We had a crazy journey. You've might have seen some of it on social media. We've come from Italy for this one. Tun actually turned up without a suitcase. A suitcase, by the way, that is still missing.
Completely gone. If anything, this is probably what I was going to be wearing anyway, because I actually don't have any more clothes. We're running out. Unfortunately, the polo shirt that I was wearing yesterday, which was quite happily mocked by some of our team yesterday, is
sometimes you need to go golfing halfway through a cast.
It's been shelved. That's not coming back out again. But unfortunately, yes, this is pretty much all I've got to wear at this stage. And thankfully so, though, we do have these teams to go on with. And I think, again, let's go on to the conversation of these European teams. And I think people are like, oh, well, you don't want to see them go up against each other in this scenario.
Yes,
do you know what it means they get knocked out? And it's like, no, it means one's in the winners bracket final, doesn't it? Of course, they do have a very, very dangerous opponent, whoever it is going to be, coming out of that second winners bracket semi-final, of course, between OpTic and FaZe, which is going to be coming up next.
I'll tell you something, Bantz's John Cena impression is getting really, really good.
I think somebody made a very good joke on Reddit. I think I seen that all of the Ultra Boys look like just a British NFT collection, don't they? Just like different versions of each other. Even though Kleenex, of course, is not British, but nonetheless, hopefully we are jumping back into this one very, very soon. We're waiting as well, don't you worry. Everybody in the chat spamming. Of course, it is the caster's fault. We do sincerely apologize.
Don't worry. Fortunately, I found a solution for all this, right? I went on to Reddit, right?
Uh-huh.
And there are lots of people on there that know how to do this flawlessly. So I figure we're going to get those people, and they'll do it next time.
Yeah, they'll figure it out.
Yeah, it must be really simple, apparently, according to our Reddit as well. But yes, I know, it's esports. These things happen. It happens all across the world. And as soon as the game is up and running, we will get back into it. But before that, you're probably sick of seeing our faces. So we're going to go for a very quick break. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll get this game on the road. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the CDL, and our crowd is enjoying a screensaver here on the main stage.
Easily entertained. Easily
entertained. So, I have to be the bad news man at the moment. We are going to be waiting a few more minutes in this one. We are trying to fix the issue. Of course, these things do happen, and I know the chat's probably not very happy and everything, but fortunately, we have some wonderful talking heads that are going to take us through everything that's happened so far and what we can expect to see for the rest of the game. So over to our beautiful desk.
Thank you, you biased casters. I love the entire, by the way. But so map 1 is underway. We're gonna get it into Search and Destroy soon. But the London Royal Ravens had a crazy comeback win in hardpoint to get that lead. And aLLeY, that was a nail biter.
I mean, yeah, Nastie finds 3 to break P5, and London was still struggling to rotate on that hill, but what really sold it in was their money holds on P4. The second time around, they played it super tight. Zero played an off angle, and they held almost the full 60. And then we got to talk about Nastie playing his life on P1 the last couple of seconds. He just laid there. He was like, best case scenario, I hit them from the back, I shoot a player. That's exactly what he got done. He gets 1 kill, makes everybody in P1 turn around to answer for him. That allows Afro to push up, trade him out, and Gismo pushing in from mid, and that's ended up getting London in the last couple of seconds. They need to take the first hard point.
And that's incredible, right, to see some big plays from the guys on London, because there's still the question, right? Like, they might have been tearing it up in challengers, but this is land now. This is against the team that has been the top European team for so long, so you're clutching up in those final moments. That is just the confidence builder that, I mean, honestly, maybe they don't need it. It's not like confidence is something they've lacked.
Yeah, true that. And, you know, this is the map that they had to win. This is their map pick, right? Kuavo map 1, they played fantastic. And also, you know, highlighting the very end of that game, Afro made a massive play, went all the way around green. I think got 2 to 3 kills there into P1 in order to stop Toronto from pushing up and getting a full setup. So it was honestly beautiful plays all around from the Royal Ravens. They all had their moments where they really weren't outslaying by a ton either. So, you know, it was a tough game, a grueler to start the series off, but they're gonna go toe-to-toe on these AR maps. They gotta win them. They win 1. Now going into the Search and Destroy, that's Toronto Ultra's bread and butter. Have a 1-0 lead right now. We've seen Insight with the huge clutch in the round 1. London steal that map, they're in a great position.
And I really do think like that kind of sets the tone for the series of like how close it's going to be, because you bring up Cammy, but it is like you have very distinct like matchups, right? Your Afro versus Kleenex, your Zero versus Insight. Well, Insight may have been getting those clutches, but Zero, you know, he's got the bounce back, the most veteran player on this team, one of the, if not the best European player of all time. Always fun to watch this guy. I feel like we got robbed when we lost him for 100%. A year.
And as the series actually started, it was Zero that came out hot. He was the only one positive on the side of London Royal Ravens for quite a hot minute until the end of that hard point. And you see it here, map 1 Kuavo, he had a 1.53 KD, 83% non-gated drill percentage. That is insane. And he had a minute and 30 seconds in hill time. On the flip side, Bance was seriously struggling, and I'm starting to think that 1.9 land win percent is starting to make sense.
Now let's go ahead and talk about Cammy as well. Now when it comes to Toronto Ultra, Cammy, we know that he can pop off and do his thing definitely. Nameless, do you think he's going to make a difference in the Search and Destroy game coming up?
I think so, man. I mean, they need him in the respawns as well. Like, you're going to need him on that Kuavo control. I mean, point blank period, like what we just saw. You know, he's playing all right, but we need him to turn up because he was a superstar on this team in that AR role. And the ARs on the side of London, they are red hot right now. So you can see his statistics right now. You know, starting off the series pretty good. That's a good sign for him. When he's shooting straight, usually they get dubs.
And especially you need him to turn up just because of like the smack talk, right? Even Gismo's now tweeting out pictures of him and Cellium like, yo, we're the best 2 flex players in the game. Like, you have a European battle, no lack of trash talk. This is bragging rights like ad nauseum for these 2 squads. And I mean, make no mistake, Cammy is ferocious on the map, but I mean, hey, at least for map number 1, slightly outpaced. And I mean, Ravens take that win. You are looking at him for that bounce back.
Right, and we were talking about what basically veterans like Zero, who's a legend in the scene, right? But aLLeY, see, we're talking about the young guns as well. Players like Afro, we know that he's going to have these big moments to really help his team out. We saw it at the end of hardpoint.
Exactly. He did start the hard point a little bit slow, but Afro has been a consistent slayer across the board when it comes to respawn, especially, and it's been the young guns for both of these teams. It's Zero and Bance are literally just the vets against each other, like, all right, whose young guns are going to do better? And so far, London's looking hot.
You're right. Now, this is actually a really interesting matchup because both of these teams, these rosters are European, right? One London Royal Ravens, the other one is North American team, Toronto Ultra. So, Chance My question to you is, if you live in London, anywhere in Europe right now, which team are you really rooting for?
I have no idea, because like those are diehard fans. As far as I'm concerned, those are some of the best fans in Call of Duty, right? Those guys go crazy over in Britain, but even when like the Ravens have been poor, they still back their team. But just the fact that Ultra have been winning them chips and finding their spots in the grand finals, it is a very tough call. It genuinely might be the case of whoever wins this match on the stage,
that's the favorite.
They get the backing of their fans.
I love it. And Nameless, for the simple fact that in Call of Duty, we've had really one good European team for so long, right? Now we actually have two in the mix. This changes the entire landscape of everything.
100%, right? And it has been dominant for so long. And then last year, Toronto was like, no, guys, we're trying to take that top spot. Almost got there, but the problem is there was an Atlanta FaZe. But, you know, looking at how these two teams play, I feel like they're going to be solid throughout the entire season. So we might have 2 European teams in the top 4.
All right, now when it comes to Search and Destroy, aLLeY, what are you expecting? Because we saw Insight last alive a few times, and I think he's going to try to make magic happen here.
I think it's going to be incredibly back and forth. Even though the statistics in front of you, wow, that lift is first overall for London Royal Ravens. Yesterday, Toronto, they made the change, right? Insight now has the sniper in hand, so I feel like their S&D is going to completely take an overhaul, and we're going to see it in this series, maybe a Game 5 on Desert Siege if we happen to make it that far. But I got to talk about the EU teams, right? EU challengers. A lot of these players are fresh young guns coming up from that scene, and they're fighting for top 6 right now, top 4. That is insane. Gismo, Afro, Kleenex, Insight, Cammy. This is EU challengers on the stage right now, proving their worth.
And their stats, right, are absurd, right?
Yeah.
You know, first place down the line in a couple different categories. Obviously, though, we know Ultra can wheel and deal in the game mode. It has been a focus point for these guys going into the major, and I mean, at least early on, it's looking like they have some of that ice, too. So it might be a back-and-forth game. Who can clutch up in that potential round 11?
Yeah, man. And looking at the series, like, these guys, London Royal Ravens, are 1-4 on Berlin S&D. And that's going to, like, it's going to be tough for them to win that map. So they end up winning that. They're in a fantastic position throughout the rest of this series. So really, I mean, this next map might be the most important one, Billy.
And speaking of which, you guys are wondering how both of these teams got here. If you're just now tuning in, let me hold your hand and catch you up just a bit. London Royal Ravens, they got a big 3-2 win over the Los Angeles Guerrillas, and Toronto Ultra had an amazing comeback win against the Los Angeles Thieves. Both teams, by the way, knocking out both LA teams.
I mean, it's funny, too, because I think Thieves is like a team, and they're still in it, so who knows, but a lot of people were expecting to be in that finals, but, I mean, Ultra just maintaining that dominance, taking it to them, but maintaining dominance might be like the key. It is so difficult with talent like this to actually hold on to anywhere near those top spots, and well, obviously for Ultra, I mean, back against the wall already in this series, it is not easy to go against this Ravens squad.
Now, I kind of suck when it comes to, like, you know, brackets and whatnot, but Nameless, if I stand correct, so far, London Royal Ravens, they're at 1-0. If they continue to win this series, Toronto Ultra is going to have to play the LA Thieves again.
I think the loser of FaZe OpTic goes down and plays LA.
Okay, so I stand
the loser of this will go down and play.
It can still get there, though. We can
loser
still
of this
get there.
will go down and play Boston, and Boston was looking pretty damn good, man. So that'll be lit as well. And the Search and Destroy specialists.
Okay, matter of fact, the game is ready to get started right about now. Let's get things hyped up, and Rice and Time, go ahead and take it away.
All right, we are back. We are live.
It's about time.
Back into it. Let's go straight in. On board with Ultra on the attack, and they're already heading straight into it, but they have been wiped instantly. Maybe they need another reset.
I didn't even have time to jump into this game. London Royal Ravens just come screaming out of it. I think they might have found my bag, by the way. I was just on the phone to them. Didn't expect it to come straight back into it. But of course, 1-1 between these two. It's about to be 2-1 to the London Royal Ravens, though, and with that round, and once again, Insight caught out on his own every single time. Yes, okay, he does have that clutch factor. This 1v4 will be quite difficult.
Yeah, this is maybe a step too far, of course. The Ravens playing very, very slow and instantly going down there again. And this Ultra tactic, obviously, it's worked for them. It's something out of their playbook, but unfortunately, it is used to catch flankers. It is not used to be dominant in that point. And they haven't managed to get anything out of it really so far. And essentially now it's a 1st to 5.
Let's see who finds themselves there first. Good start by the Ravens. They'll come out screaming. That's the kind of round you want straight out of a long delay. Kills on the board fast. Ultra, no time to think about it as we head into the next round. So that's now 2-1 to the London Royal Ravens.
Here comes the push, actually. It might be just Gismo making a little bit of noise is over at A, and the Ravens will wait and try and use that opportunity to get into B. At the moment, a little bit of a split and pick seems to be going on as both teams is looking for this first kill.
Cammy getting aggressive. Has to be careful. Afro, if he doesn't win this one, but Nastie with the MP40 gets it done and gets out as well. And the communication's going to be coming in here from Gismo. I've got complete control of A, so the London Royal Ravens will take that in their stride, get themselves over. Ultra going to have to hit from a kind of a different angle here. The map is flipped. A look at the positioning of Gismo. This will be huge.
Gismo versus Bance. They're both next to each other as well. Players from the Ultra moving up as well. Bance is trying to make a pick here, and as soon as that bomb goes down, Ultra are going to have to try and do something here, but Afro's already found one on the flank. Gismo gets Bance as well, and Afro says thank you very much, I'll have two. The Ravens have come back into this set to destroy with some fire in the veins.
Big kill coming out from Afro. The round was already done, but Ravens very much with the wind beneath their wings. Can they keep this up here? Ultra need to bounce back very, very quickly. And that said, when it comes to search and destroy and building, it's hard to get that sniper really in play as much as you would see it on maybe like a Tuscan or something along those lines. So back into it we go.
All right, bit of Let's Go Ultra in the crowd here at the moment, and they are going to need that. They're going for this push once again. Same A. At the moment, being a little bit cautious, might be a call for a rotation if they don't find anything here. Insight going into that similar position, going to be looking at P5, seeing who crosses on the flank.
He can cover so much here. He gathers so much information from that spot. But the big problem is, of course, is they transfer over towards A, if that's where it is ultimately going to go down. Engagement going to be coming in. Gismo inside with Afro. The push is going to start coming from Ultra. Bodies are going to start hitting the floor any minute now. Afro ready and waiting. The bullets don't hit though, and Bance finds the kill. Gismo now on his own. Ultra in a good spot here. Insight will be covering the flank, but they need to find their way in. Can Gismo hold it down on his own? Here comes the push, just the bomb and weave. It finds one with the drop shot. What year is it? He gets taken down, and now it's a 3 versus 2.
It's going to be Nastie on the flank. Nastie opens it up. Bringing it back to a 2 versus 2, but the Ultra is split. They have not got the teams together. I think it's been found as well. Clinics goes down. Nastie again, and Insight is left to try and clutch, to try and pull a win from the jaws of defeat. And unfortunately, he's not a Superman. He cannot get there in time. And that's going to be all.
That should surely be it. 5 seconds to go. Not going to find both kills. Not even going to find one. Ravens looking so strong in this search and destroy.
Ravens are hyped. They're ready.
Hopefully we're still good to go. A little bit of commotion on the stage.
Oh no.
Please, no.
Fingers crossed. Cross everything. Put your headset on.
Put the headset on, Toby. Put it on.
Put it on.
Crowd, tell him to put his headset on now.
Oh no. Oh, that seems to be...
Oh, honestly.
Wow, we're going to start getting the storybooks out at some point.
Yeah, do you know any... Can you sing or...?
Babe, can I sing? We're singing, dancing, everything at this point because it does seem to be some sort of complication. Apparently, people in the backstage just keep pulling out wires. I'm guessing it's Maven. I'm guessing Maven's very, very tired. He's ready to cast. He's been chewing through the wires all day. There's nothing else we can say. Apparently, this one's going to be very, very fast. It's just a quick reset.
Just a quick issue to figure out. It sounds like it's maybe a sound issue from what I was seeing on the cameras. Hopefully, we'll be back into this one very, very quickly. But what about the Ravens looking so good here? I chose the right jersey at this point, didn't I? It's looking quite good. Nonetheless, look, Ravens with a very, very good start to this restart of the Search and Destroy. Look great in map number 1 as well. They've been feeling really good heading into the rest of this series. I'm kind of waiting for Ultra to wake up here. We were talking about it during the break. That map number 1, nothing crazy really happened, did it? It was just a very structured game of control from both, of hardpoint, I should say, from both teams. Very much about those rotations, locking down these hills. And yeah, nobody really popped off. It was just a scenario where teams were locking down the hills. It was very hard for them to break back.
It was. I actually want to talk about Insight a little bit here into this one. Obviously, this is an Ultra tactic. This is something that maybe the Ravens have looked into or thought about, because right now they're kind of playing him irrelevant. Like, they're not hitting the flank for him. They're not making him get into any position where he can actually see the numbers come through. I think we even saw, it was Nastie or Afro managed to get a flank in that round before, and
yeah,
essentially, if nothing is happening and that may be a change of tactics, the Ultra are doing well to break in, but eventually just keep going down, losing the numbers they are looking to see. The Ravens are winning their gunfight. They are picking apart the defense of Ultra, and it is not working on this reset. There has to be something now as we go back in this game. Right now, it's going to be, what, 4-1? I'm not going to go too much into the scores, because obviously that's all for admins to figure out, but it's looking heavily favored to the Ravens. If they win this S&D, it could be all over.
Yeah, as you can see underneath here, the teams are not quite in their seats at this moment in time. So hopefully we're ready to go in just a moment. For my sake, your sake, and everybody else's at home's sake, we can get this game back underway. Thank you so much for being so patient with us. The crowd weren't necessarily so patient. I heard some boos. Just to play Maven as constant as we have been trying to do. Hopefully we'll be jumping back into this game very shortly, but stuttering through it somewhat at this moment in time.
Hey, we might set the record for the longest S&D of all time.
Yeah.
I don't know what that record is. I'm sure somebody is going to tweet it at us, but this could go on for the record of it.
Carson can maybe figure that out. Our stats guy has been massively influential, helping the broadcast out. Shout out to him. And let's speak about Carson, actually. He's the guy who was picking the stats up. We were having a conversation over a beer or two last night, and he is very much favouring the London Royal Ravens here. He says that he thinks they can make the final based on their stats. And who am I to argue with the guy that has all the numbers, is all I'm going to say.
Yeah, it's interesting when you're going to break it down in that kind of it, like when you talk about the statistics of the teams going forward and how statistically this should actually pay out. I believe you just went Atlanta FaZe London final, but I'm sure that won't make a lot of the crowd here very happy.
No, probably not. But we are, unfortunately, I have to tell you, going to another break. Hopefully we do get this figured out. Really, we want it figured out as soon as possible. Such a big game in the grand scheme of things here, of course, in Texas. And we'll be back with the Search and Destroy just after this.
Tune back into the music. You know how to do this. Don't second guess, just not a test. It's not a race, no black or white. Everything's great. No yesterday, never tomorrow. Only the present, that is your gift. It benefits you only if open. Everyone's chosen, beauty of choice. You can stay silent, forget your voice. You can malign them, hold a grudge, or stand before judge, just stay in your case. Top of the notion that you were just a mere drop in the ocean. This is your moment, fear is a Trojan horse. When you open or close your doors. Just when you feel like it's too much, just when you feel like you've had enough, take a step back from the edge and take a deep breath. Dance like you'll never. Dance like you'll never. Dance like you'll never. to live. Sometimes you don't really like your kids. Sometimes you grow out of your friends. Sometimes it's your fault, just admit it. Finger point in the mirror, 3-point back, that's the tearjerker. You can wallow in sorrows, depressed of the past, afraid of the unknown tomorrow. Or you can just live in the now. We all trying to figure it out. The rhythm inside of your chest that's keeping you moving, that's the solution. The ball on the floor is hard to ignore. Endorphin rush will flush your brains while you dance your pain away. Just when you feel like it's too much, just when you feel like you've had enough, take a step back from the edge and take a deep breath. Dance like you'll never. Dance like you'll never. Dance like you'll never. Dance like you'll never ever gonna live again.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. And I have said that a few times during this S&D, more than I thought I was ever going to. But I have been told we are going back into it. Everybody, all across the world, cross your fingers, cross your toes, cross everything you've got, because we will get this done. I promise, we will get this done.
Third time's the charm, right? That has to be the case. We're going back into this one, speaking of threes, with a 3-1 lead to London. There was an issue in that previous round. So into it, 3-1 up for London. Oh, pray to the God gods that this is the last of the delays for this one. So I don't know about you, but I'm looking forward to see this game. I'm really looking forward to the next one as well. Let's get into it. Third time is the charm. The London Royal Ravens 3-1 up. They're 1-0 up in the series. And they're looking to defend over towards it. Ultra find their head.
Ultra looks to tag it again. Already, it's going to be a big hit. Teams already throwing at each other, and it's now a 3 versus 3. Ultra did not get the clean break-in that they wanted. Also, they've moved inside.
Smart there from London. They're back on down. You can get the angle from behind, but unnecessary for the Ultra to hang around any longer than they need to. Nastie lingering mid-map has to be the guy to make the play here, potentially. Is he going to see them? aDeLLeY chooses to turn around. We have to go with Nastie. Surely nothing going on this side of things.
Sneaky, he's sneaky. Just the inside as well. He's managed to get it. Is Bans going to come off that bomb? No, he has got it down, but it is basically a 1v3 until his teammate gets over there, and Bans gets absolutely destroyed. It's now Cammy left alone.
Oh, no chance that they know where he is, but Cammy's going to really struggle here. London Royal Ravens just looking so confident here in map number 2. Fist bumps all around. They're feeling it, has to be said. 4-1 to the good.
Well, statistics don't always tell the truth, but they never lie. And at the moment, those statistics for the London Royal Ravens, first in basically every category we track in S&D, is paying out here. Nothing the Ultra do is working.
No, I just wonder if Ultra, maybe the stuttering start has now allowed them to build any momentum to get back into this game. We asked the question during one of our 16 breaks so far. Has it been the case of maybe the Royal Ravens with that momentum from game number 1? Can they continue it off? Well, the answer to that has been absolutely yes. 4-1 to the Ravens now. Let's head over towards B. Insight is there to defend.
Here comes the peak, here comes the peak, here comes the peak! There's a few bullets thrown back and forth. Insight comes under the pressure. The Ravens, though, can try and make a move, but keep an eye, there is going to be a player here. Is this guy slipped the net? Who is that? It's Bans. He's going to be found, though. He's going to go down. Very aggressive from both teams. As Ultra trying to get in a position, but they are being cut to ribbons. Nothing they are doing on this map is working. Eventually, CleanX will bring it back to a 2 versus 3, but is that going to be good enough? Cammy doesn't get a shot on it either. CleanX with a second. Brings it back to a 2 versus 2.
This is huge. Bomb's going to go down. They're going to surely fly at him. Nastie will get out. Zero on his way back round. CleanX is thinking about it, of course, now. Nastie, can he go for the check? Cammy is there to hold it, but is that defuse going to come on through for CleanX? Stick the bomb, defuse early. How many times do we talk about it? You don't check it for a good 15 after you get it down typically. The defuse comes through, and after bleeding rounds, CleanX and Ultra find one back for the Toronto side.
And that is a big win for Ultra. They needed something going in the search and destroy. It has not been good for them so far. CleanX rolls the old shoulders, says, all right, I'll do this one, lads.
Finds all the kills for his team in that round as well.
Oh, CleanX is going rogue.
I mean, this is so aggressive from Ultra. They were aggressive in the previous round as well. Will Afro know they are here? Apparently he does. Oh, as he turned around at the wrong time, though, as the hit's going to come in here from Ultra. Surely Afro will be seen, and Bance finds it. And look at the collapse that they have on over towards B. They can transition to A as well. 3 options here for Toronto Ultra.
Everton now, it's going to be Nastie though. Nastie gets the bomb down, and Ultra have got mid-map control, but very little else in this 3 versus 3. They're now going to have to dig the Ravens out of every single corner.
So well played from the Royal Ravens. They respect the fact that Ultra are on fire. They back it up and they catch the guy with the bomb. Insight caught out. Now Ultra need to find a way back in. Here comes the entry, Bance through the door. Zero is there, but so is Nastie, who finds both kills. Absolutely huge plays from the rookie. CleanX now, he needs the bomb. He needs to find 3 kills as well, and surely it's going to be impossible. 5 in a row here for Nastie. Can he find 6 as CleanX finds 0?
Nastie, CleanX looking for it. He's going to try and pick a corner, try and figure this one out. Just no time to get it done, and it's slow, it's steady, it's all good. It actually ends up coming out, and CleanX can't do anything. He does get the kill, but they will not be able to get the plant, and the Ravens keep on rolling.
No time, just no time at all. Really well played from Nastie, slows it down completely. Those 2 kills, absolutely huge. And it was ultimately, you know, the opening for Ultra was so good. They find that pick, they have fire control, they've kind of got mid-map control, but Insight once again left on an island. But a complete desert one at this stage. Hasn't been able to do a thing on his own. CleanX 5-1, the 4 streak. Maybe he can get something going to bring Ultra back into this one, but they're 5-2 down. Big hit here from it. Over towards this side from London.
And this will be the end. Bance though has managed to get first blood onto Nastie this time around, but it has been brought back into it as well. CleanX coming under. Oh! How do you win 2 gunfights like that? CleanX shutting down the Ravens this time, and it's Zero who's left alone in a 1 versus 3. Finds Cammy, but doesn't get any more as the Ultra claw one back desperately.
It was needed, and CleanX still on this streak. That will be, I believe, at least 6. Keep an eye on things here. CleanX is 8-1 from the restart, but his team's still finding themselves floundering. 5-3. London used the veterancy of Zero here to close out this map and find themselves 2-0 up.
They just need one good opportunity. It's Ultra on the attack.
7. So there you go. The glide bomb is there for CleanX. It has to be used, really. And here it is. Information coming out, and you feel like the guy inside the B should be dead. Nastie falls. It opens the bomb site. Afro follows him as well. Bomb's going to be going down from Ultra. It's a 2v4 retake for London.
Well, Zero's going to be on the docks here. He's going to be able to find something. He needs some magic. He needs some way of breaking this deadlock, and he's going to find Bance as well. Try to take the shots. He's inside with a sniper! And that sniper's going to take him down. Gismo's going to find the players of Ultra here as well. They'll dance, they'll dive, and they'll get him in the end.
Signs of life from Toronto Ultra.
It's been a long S&D, but it should be a very good S&D if this keeps on going.
Can Ultra push us to the wire? Things getting a little bit closer now. The experience is really going to come into things here for London. There is a severe lack of it for the majority of it. We've seen Gismo vibing for the most part, but maybe a slight concern on his face now, as that is now 5-4 to London. Can Ultra tie us up and send us to around number 11?
Well, here we go. Which way do London move? At the moment, Ultra seem a little bit indecisive. Sniper is out for Insight. Scoped in. Ready.
Nothing falling this way for Insight. Ravens looking to try and slowly find their way around Cammy. Living on a wing and a prayer. Survives that one. This could be a huge engagement when it comes on through. Gismo with the bounce, doesn't check his corners, and Bance is there, ready and waiting. Ultra 4v3, make that a 4v2. Zero. Looking to try and find something here to bring Ravens back into this round.
Broken out, the old sniper, left in a 1 versus 4. He's going to need some sort of incredible sniper gameplay. And you can see, I think, Yeah, he did see him. Insight knows he's there. It's 5-5. The delays have been dragging this S&D out, but we have reached the pinnacle. The teams have gone back and forth. Everything we expected from the European showdown comes to this. One more round.
And it's really the catalyst of CleanX, who has been getting it done here for Ultra. Can they seal it with another round as we head into round number 11? It's going to be Ultra on the attack. Can they make it count here on Berlin? Inside looking for the cross, not going to find it. Look at the aggressive hit coming in here from London. Bounce is trying to survive as is CleanX. It's an absolute blood battle in the middle of the map. It's suddenly a 2 versus 2.
Somehow, Ultra managed to get out of that one. It could have gone very wrong for them. Cammy looking for another streak, though.
This will be huge. If you can find the next kill, puts you in a 2v1. Glide bomb available. An insight with the sniper.
Genuinely anyone's game. Who blinks first? Both teams. A little bit of hairs on the neck, standing on end. The sweat, the stress. Just trying to figure it out. Both teams desperately trying to figure out where the other team are positioned here. They don't know where the hit's coming in. Cammy's going to find one, but doesn't actually get 0.
That felt like a kill that should have come on through for Cammy. He doesn't hit his shots, and all of a sudden, the round breaks into life once more. The hit is made, the bomb is down. Ultra to defend it. Ravens have to find the retake. Keep an eye on Gismo. Can he find a pick before he maybe gets shot in the back here? He's in no man's land. There's the shots. There's the glide bomb.
Hello!
Here it comes in 0. You can run for cover all you want. You can't get away from fate. As Ultra bring things back 6-5 game 2. Series on our hands.
We talk about the ice in the veins of Ultra over and over again. Bant said it's something they want to make sure they get every single time. And London are sick to their stomachs. They had that one in the bag. They had the win all sewn up. Well, they didn't count on CleanX. They didn't count on the comeback. And we're heading into the control all tied up.
My goodness me. A very, very close ending. It's been close games all the way through. If you can remember, about 4 hours ago, we did play a hard point in this game. And that was close as well. 6-5 in the search and destroy. As we head into Kuavo next. I dare say we shouldn't be going for a break because these players should be ready to jump into game number 3. I'm not going to promise anything, of course, but nonetheless, what a fantastic search and destroy. And ultimately there for London, that was in their grasp. They had it 1 round away. 4 back to back to back to back from Ultra sends the series to a tie heading into map number 3.
Yeah, that was done. It was dusted, but somebody didn't tell Ultra. They somehow fly back into this one. A couple of clutches, a couple of snipes, a couple of big plays made the difference in the end. And I feel like a broken record again. We said it coming into this, we expect very little between these two teams. The hard point, 15 points. The S&D, 4 hours long, but a 6-5.
Very, very close. And ultimately, it comes down to CleanX and finding those 2 kills that he did towards the side of A. I can't remember what round it is because it goes the round to it at the top or anything. We'll see it at some point. It's after the restart, and he was finding kills all over the place. When we compare these rosters, we put them together, we line them up one by one. Where do we put the advantages in CleanX? Finding kills like this. It's one of the areas that you would imagine Ultra are going to be looking towards to try and find the rounds. Bant's huge kill there, sees Gismo on the entrance. Insight closing out the round to send us to that final round. And Cammy just going huge in the mid-map. Easy kill on the Gismo. 3 kills for Cammy in that round 11. Make it 4, and the ace with the glide bomb. Huge plays from Cammy. 6-5, 1-1.
Yeah, certainly. I was going to talk about that Bant's kill again, actually. Huge kill there, because that would have put so much pressure onto Ultra and probably would have meant that round went a different way in the end. Winning those 50-50 gunfights, don't get me wrong, it's not flashy, it's not amazing. We see players like CleanX and Cammy dropping streaks, but sometimes just 1 kill can make a difference, and that one did.
Very well could have done in that round. Big plays from Bant. Now heading into control, though, going over towards Kuavo. It's an interesting one. The Royal Ravens 3-1 across their whole season. 1-0 for the side of Ultra. So both will be feeling confident. And it's about who can be aggressive, who can force that team towards the back spawn when they are defending, of course, and who can maybe find something over towards B. If I was to maybe note on anything, we've seen Ravens find probably the quickest attacking round of control we've seen on Kavutu all year long so far. So it's interesting to see if they can continue to do that, but my goodness me, it should be a good one either way.
Certainly should. Let's take a look at some key players for this one. Then, of course, Afro versus Cammy as we go into the control. It does seem like Cammy gets the lion's shares of the team kill, 27.5%. But in every other category, it's Afro leading. The KD is higher and the per minute 10 minutes. So it's close. It's still close though.
Very, very close between these two in terms of the statistics side of things. Cammy definitely stepping things up though, has to be said. Had a mammoth final round there, finding all 4 kills to send this series to a tie heading into the 3rd map. And let's see if he can continue that form here in map number 3.
Yeah, Cammy was one of the big question marks coming into this major. Obviously, the last week or so of the qualifiers and everything that ended up happening, had to sub out for Hixie, came back, performance wasn't T1, but what it was is all about LAN. He's got to LAN, shown he is every bit of the caliber of the player we expect him to be, and also Bad is having a good time.
Yeah, you like to see the positivity if you're an Ultra fan as we head into map number 3 in just a second. But yeah, back on the Cammy, I mean, one of the guys last year that was absolutely lights out. So many times people were talking about him in the conversation of being the best player on the game. I think, you know, a couple of wins underneath their belt in a major, and you would have actually had that argument completely solidified. He was phenomenal all the way through. Just highlight reel after highlight reel. Hasn't found those heights, and I think that's why people question him in this game so far. They say to themselves, right, okay, well, look how good he was last year. It's very hard for some players to replicate that year in, year out. But he's getting back into the swing of things. And maybe a little bit of a slow start. But London need to regain that composure there. They were sitting pretty in that search and destroy. You can see Dominic, the coach for the London Royal Ravens, talking his players through it, calming them down, giving them the strats heading into map number 3.
Love the fact that both coaches of these two teams are obviously ex-European professionals as well.
I mean, we've known all these guys. I've known Marky B longer than I've known my wife.
Yeah. Well, I won't get into that relationship, but what I will say is it's probably not talked about enough, and we can shed some light actually on some of the coaching staff for both of these two squads. Obviously dominate on the London Royal Ravens. If you are a fan of European COD history, or just COD history in general actually, I believe the last time he won an event was AW, a European event back then. Of course, Marky B, everybody knows Marky B, but the player I want to talk about behind him is actually going to be known as Flux. He used to be a pro back in the day as well, and kind of a stealth pickup for the Ultra. They didn't really, it kind of flew under the radar a little bit.
Yeah, he just kind of started turning up, didn't he? And it was one of these things. Oh, Flux on the coaching team, but really helping the squad out. It's very EU orientated over at Ultra, tapping into that potential. Both teams on the EU Challenger side of things on multiple occasions, and you absolutely love to see it. I mean, we and plenty, obviously, some of the Challengers casters that are here with us as well, who are just constantly harping on at how good that European Challenger region is. And here we are with the stage full of European players, some rookies, some players who have been around for many, many years, but nonetheless, it's a European matchup that is living up to the hype. One apiece now between these two as we head into the control. We're starting to roll in this series now. Don't let us stop. Which way is this control going to go, though? One apiece. Who can take the lead once more?
Statistics interesting for this one, of course. I believe London Royal Ravens 3-1. Toronto Ultra 1-0. Technically undefeated, but which is better, to have lost one or to be undefeated but have not played as many games? We're going to find out, of course. We do start on board with Nastie, looking for control around top vote.
And it's about these teams trying to find some clean rounds. So far, so good here for Ultra. And he kills on the board, and Kleenex challenging and pushing on forward. Final kill is going to be found. Afro with an important one to get his team out of their spawn. Look at the shots from Kleenex. That's an SMG, ladies and gentlemen. 4 in a row from him.
Well, at the moment, heating up just a little bit, but you can see they're only really leaving Cammy having a was mode at the moment. But Cammy gunning. The Ravens trying to find a little bit of ingress here on this point. They're not getting it so far. Zero eventually finding 2, and they are now trying to stack here. There's always an Ultra player left alive. Eventually, it's going to take Zero getting 3 of Ultra to start getting some time.
Yeah, the time is now being stopped as eventually the London Royal Ravens will find themselves inside of A. My goodness, Cammy. The shots into Zero. working out here for Ultra. It's a very clean round so far. London still have purchase over towards both, but CleanX is just running around like an absolute lunatic. 7-3. Gismo yet to find a kill. They just can't find a way through, and Insight and Co. locking this one down. Afro needs to stop this time.
Ultra are being the most annoying team I've ever seen. Every time we go onto a Ravens perspective, they're trying to shoot a player who just is essentially running away and letting their team pick up kills. Something Ultra are known for is their teamwork, and it's paying out here. Though, I say this, finally, London starting to get some timing, get some boat control, but it's not going to be enough. They're in, it's Ultra instantly.
So convincing that in round number 1. And Ravens just cannot get any purchase. That's the thing. It seemed to just be 3 kills Ultra, 1 to Ravens. There's one guy who can stop the clock just that little bit, but just so well played by Ultra, finding their gunfighter, being annoying. It's such a big factor when it does come down to control, about players putting themselves in awkward little spots, cutting off lanes, and just being a nuisance. Really well played by Ultra, and that could be very positive for them. Finding many kills, that's going to be sitting at what, a positive 7 or so, or 6 or 7 for them heading into this round. Keep an eye on that as we head over towards round number 5 potentially. Looking for the push here though is Toronto Ultra. All that kill feed is London Royal Ravens though. So try and force them away.
Shooting the other foot here at the moment. Inside trying to hold down the fort, let his team somehow get out of spawn. Gismo going to go hide him though, and eventually we'll take him down, and it's now going to be Ultra who are feeling the squeeze. The Ravens said, hey, anything you can do, we can do too.
They can push here. Going to be very difficult for Ultra to get out of this one. Zero's going to have to be the man. Shot's going to go in, but plenty more over towards him. Finds one with the nade. Shots in the inside, not quite able to find them, but the Royal Ravens, look at the setup on the map. So difficult to try and break out of. And every single kill going over towards Ravens. We talked about that positivity from the previous round for Ultra was around 6. This moment in time, it's about 10 for the Ravens.
They just cannot move, they just cannot breathe. Ultra are being punched in the face repeatedly here on this map. There is nothing they can do, it's all gunning from them. It's like trying to get those kills to allow them to breathe, but with 19 seconds left, I don't even know if they're going to go for this.
I don't think they are, to be honest with you. I think it's damage limitation at this stage. Ravens pushing up because they know they can't find their way through. They want to find more kills. They're finding more kills. Insight and Cammy momentarily the last alive. And wow, what a defensive hold from the London Royal Ravens. Ultra do a good job. London do a better one apiece.
I'll tell you something. I think the players are aware that we had a very long S&D. They're making this a quick control.
Just no purchase being able to be made, but Ravens did it better that time around. Last time on the attack, they were finding kills here or there in the break, although Ultra were mostly in the feed. It was very much down to the fact that they found that 4 down, and when you push it, when you put that team into that attacking spawn, it's so difficult to find a way out. The setup there from the Ravens was superb as Gismo found 6 in a row, 1 and 6 heading into that one.
They've been punished hard, and here come the Ravens this time.
Both kills coming.
Looking to make sure they do not repeat the mistakes of the past. They're going to get boat control completely. Zero's going to open up. Cammy's trying to get away and must have the smallest amount of health possible as Gismo is playing for streaks.
Oh, Afro's going to get caught out there as he pushes up towards green, but yes, Gismo looking for this streak as A starts ticking. This could be very important. We know how open Gavutu is. You know how many kills you can find with these streaks, but Cammy eventually goes down. There's the glide bomb. Job done here for Gismo. Can he lock down the boat now as the A push continues to come on through?
This is looking much better from London. Looking forward here, and Gismo just happy to play up the top as well. Oh, gunning! That's a 9 streak for Gismo. They haven't got the time yet, but it doesn't matter. They are just punishing Ultra all over the map.
It's only a 2-kill lead, though. They haven't necessarily found too much of an advantage. Good shots from Bance. But plenty of time being made up towards A. The gunfight starting to come in here from Ultra, though. You have to be very, very careful of the Ravens. They have managed to push through from cliff side. Nastie finds 2 inside a boat. As Afro finds another. This should be A starting to get locked in. We should see an extension of that time. The lives with Royal Ravens, but it is only a slender life lead.
With Afro, will be looking to try and open this up here if he can. Finds inside. He knows if they get A, the key will be trying to get through that spawn. You can already see though, the Ultra trying to push this one up, and it's not been a great game from Benjamin Bance this time around. 5 and 13, struggling here on Gavutu.
13 is a lot of deaths. It really is, especially only with the 5 kills as A is locked in. Gismo and Co continue on, but good kills coming in from Cammy. It just takes one big break here from Ultra on the defensive side to then force London back into their spawn like we've seen in the previous 2 rounds. But London are making a better work of it here. Bance on the outside is going to find an opponent kill. Can he find the second on Afro as well? Yes, he can. Good play from Bance, and Ravens are just struggling to find a way through here after a really good start. Ultra locking it down.
Completely locked in, these two teams.
Oh, that's big at the back. That's big at the back. We're going to open.
Gismo is flying through here, and it's going to be the Ultra who have to try and adapt for it. They're going to be pinched on a few sides. Gismo, the key, has to make something happen here for the Ravens if they want to break this deadlock. Just waiting for his teammates. This next trade could be huge. They're looking for it as well. It's going to be Zero who gets it. More of the Ravens now trying to move into position. They're desperately trying to have this fight. They want to have it. Nastie gets one as well. It's all Ravens from here.
Insight spawns directly in front of Nastie. He's going to spawn there once more. He's kind of stuck in and around Radio Tower, just trying his best to survive, trying to find something, but his teammates have done the job for him, and eventually Insight will take down Afro. Good defensive work in the end by Ultra, spread themselves horizontally across the map as Aurora Ravens trying to find their way through, and well, we're playing CDM once more as Ravens say no to the attack. And I can't wait for the update to control like everybody else, but this is what we're living in right now, and Ultra very much happy with where they are right now. We head into another round. Defense has been king, as Ultra once again hold their defenses.
Well, if I'm correct, I think at the moment the Ravens have the advantage. They've been doing so well at the moment. And this has been a bit of a weird control, heavy on the defense.
Hey, it's not being weird at all. It's been very standard as it comes to Gavudu, I would say.
All right, it's not been that great to watch. Both teams very slow. I'll give you that one. But anything could happen as we go into this one. Ultra could break the deadlock. They win an attack, and it doesn't matter.
Streaks in, potentially for Cammy. That's something to keep an eye on. This final round should just explode into life, though. Streaks could be all over the place. Bance now on a 5 as well. And this is what Ultra are going to play for. They'll know that Gismo's going to be close, and there comes the bodyguard Bance as he finds another kill. Nastie falls down. 6 in a row from him. The stun comes through. Surely Afro goes for the challenge. Big gunfight comes on through, and Ravens clear out board, but all for Insight. It's still here, still alive, and still rolling.
Going to get some time here as well, and the Ultra know at this point they really have to try and make this attack work. Staying alive, waiting for reinforcements. Already players from the Ravens pushing up, trying to punish those players coming out of spawn as Insight goes down. The sun slows him down just enough, but it's Bance. Bance going to try and break the deadlock here. He's going to find one. He knows what that second could be as well. And Gismo guns him as he comes out of green.
That's both cleared though. That's 4 dead actually, as Ultra are finally going to find a little bit of real estate on this map. Pushing up forward is Cammy. Nastie didn't see him either, and concentration over towards B is going to start coming up through. If Kleenex have found another, it's suddenly game on. Now the Ravens will know that somebody's behind them though because of the spawn that does come on through. Cammy with the shots as well, but still A needs to be captured from the side of Ultra. Really struggling as Ravens continue to defend.
Yeah, Ultra are going to go for the win this time. They are going to try and make this one work. At the moment that A will be secured, you can already see. Keep an eye though. I think Afro might have something to say about it. He's being caught. I think they know exactly where he is. He is going to go down. It will now be the Ultra in control of A. I don't think London are going to go for another push. They are, in fact, going to go for that defense and try and hold this down.
They're just going to try and hold them over towards the boat, though. Nastie has a little look, backs on down, gets out of there as well. A is now going to go over towards Toronto, so they have 1 minute and 20 seconds to find this attack. And the curious one for me, keep an eye, of course, Gismo does have those streaks. If Ultra find a little bit of room, if they find 4 dead, the insurance policy is there for the Ravens if they do need it.
Connection with the kill as well, but Afro's going to hold down top ring. There's just not a lot of room to maneuver here for Ultra. Bance is trying to make a play. He's going to get traded out of well. It's all back to square one. The defenses on this map are rock solid.
Like we've seen on Kavutu in map number 1, neither team is really giving an inch. Once a site or an area gets locked down, they have not allowed anybody through. Nobody's been able to create any chaos. Nobody's been able to create those moments for the team where they can pop up. It has just been strategic. It has been a game of chess between these two. But right now, the Royal Ravens are looking to lock in their defensive side of things. Bance will find an advantage. London have a 3-kill advantage currently. I think it's down to 2 now as Bance found that one. Back to 3 now. This is important for them in the full defensive round. You can see Ultra are pushing, but the kills are going the Ravens' way. Looking to continue it off. CleanX tries to even the odds. 3 seconds to go. You need to find the kills. If you're the Ultra, can you find any more? It was 2 away. That should be Ravens with the defensive side of things in round number 5, as they just about hold on.
Well, in the S&D, somehow Ultra found some magic. They came back into this. Can they find it this time, though? Can they win the attack? 4 defenses have been won so far in this control. Is this the anomaly? Is this the exception? Ultra staring down the barrel of another map loss. They are going to need some sort of miracle.
And bear in mind that Ravens do have a hold of that glide bomb as well. CleanX will open up his account though in round number 5. Gismo falls. A very quick A would be fantastic for Ultra. They've actually managed to stack it here. It's good up very quickly. Nastie will find the kill. Bance will trade it. Insight forcing his way through, but look at Afro just running forward. It's straight into the spawn of Ultra. There's 1 player left in the bimbap. He's dead, and now the Ravens can force their way forward, but keep an eye on Insight. Finds his way around, and he could be the key to getting Ultra out of their spawn.
Yeah, they need him. They need Insight here. Massive, massive wins. It's
I don't
gonna go
like
down. It's gonna go down. Nastie finds him in the back, and now the squeeze is coming. The Ravens are ready to set up. It's only gonna be Benjamin Bance who might be able to do something himself.
They're on B.
Need the kills. Bance is going through. They have a little bit of ring control here. They're coming through. It is going to be the Ultra suddenly starting to get some little bit of momentum.
This is when the streak's going to be very, very important. Surely that's going to be coming in just a moment. From the side of Gismo, here it is.
Advance.
And this will get 1 player off B. I would imagine, is he going to be able to dodge it? No, he is not. And the next player follows through. This kill inside the ring is huge, though. Is Nastie going to be able to find Cammy? Yes, he is. And now all of a sudden, Insight is cut off from the rest of his team. 2 progress tricks over towards B, though. Still doable here for Ultra. Insight trying his best to survive. Eventually, he does fall, but damage is done.
That is 2 ticks coming through, and what that means for everybody watching is that if Ultra now successfully get A, they only need 1 real break to win this. The kills are not in their favor. The time is not in their favor. They have to make some magic happen. Cammy desperately trying to do work up top. He's in 2 already. Gonna gun them as well. 1 more player up here. CleanX gets it. That'll be A control for them, and Cammy is now putting feet to ground as he looks to get some map control away from London.
Gismo wins a huge fight over towards the beach side as well. If he had died, then that whole side of the map is open. But there you go, Royal Ravens. They may just well clean out both. 20 seconds left to go. If you're Ultra, you need to find something here. They find the kills. They have control. Keep an eye though once more. Gismo is around from behind. Can he find a route through? Potentially. It doesn't seem so. It looks like Ultra may well get a hold of A here, but Ravens are still trying to break it.
Ravens do not want them to get A. Ultra are desperate. They gave up a little bit of control for it. They need to get more points on board here. It's going to be Bance inside.
7 lives remaining.
Ravens are going to continue to pile the pressure on, but that's another player down. A is definitely going to go to the Ultra now. They're going to get Afro for 1 last swipe. Not going to stop them. That's a huge kill up top ring. Insiders just clean it up for them. Cammy's going to get another one. The Ultra are piling the pressure on. They do not have the lives, but they do have the opportunity.
Nasty.
No respawns remaining.
No respawns here for the Ultra. Make that only 3 players remaining as well as Nasty garners control of ring once more. Insight's the next one in his vision. It's only Cammy and CleanX left to go. It will be a monumental effort. Cammy will find 1. It's implausible, but not impossible, but it might be now as CleanX. Can he do it on his own? Well, I wonder. He's got time.
It's a 1 versus 4. CleanX for the history books is eventually going to go down, and that's London. London take the control. It's all defense all the time on Kuavo. But it was nail biting. It was close towards the end, but just not close enough.
And the problem is there for Ultra, they need to cut off mid-map. They need to cut off around tank because Nasty gets in ring. And as soon as he gets there, he is a problem. He finds those kills. He finds the round for London, who find the map and find themselves in the lead once more.
Well, back and forth on that control, and there is so little daylight between these 2 teams, but the Ravens hold fast. A kill advantage, it paid out. They are now 2-1 in the series.
Let's have a look at the highlights from that one, and what you will see is a lot of defensive kills, but more for the Ravens, which was important. I believe there's a 1 or 2 difference by the time we got towards the end. You could see it when we get there, specifically around it before Ultra were flying, they needed to find kills. But ultimately what did the damage was the Ravens holds when they found them. Dominant, consistent dominance. Ultra had a really good start in their defensive round in round number 1, of course, but since then, the Ravens, they pushed forward, they made it awkward, and Ultra just could not find that kill deficit that had been created in round number 2.
Ultra sacrificed lives to try and give them the opportunity. They pushed B. Bans did amazing work to pull the Ravens apart on that final attack. They tried desperately to throw everything at it, but I got to say, the Ravens piled so much pressure onto A, they continued to just stick their boot into Ultra on the lines every single step of the way, and that's how the game ended. If Ultra had a little bit more time or a little bit more lives, it could have been different.
Huge. That when Nastie finds that second kill in the middle, he can then go straight up to Røkkr. Really well played from Nastie. Around green. There you go. Exactly, it's so close. It's around on either one of the maps 2 and 3. It's 15-point difference on hardpoint. We haven't seen any huge moments from either one of these teams, though. It's really been, as said, a game of chess. It has been slow and steady, but right now, it's the Ravens who are winning the race. Heading into map number 4, they'll be feeling confident on the hard points as well, but both these teams have been really good on Berlin. Is that where it's going to end here for the Ultra in the winner's bracket at least, or is it going to be forcing a map number 5 of a Desert Siege? And for me, if we do get there, Ultra have the advantage with how well Insight has been playing with that sniper.
So I was kind of feeling the 2-3-5 for Ultra here. I
Yeah.
thought that may be the way it goes, but truthfully, as we go into this hard point, if I'm being honest, I think we're probably just going to have another tight game. It could go either way between these two teams. It's been lights out so far all over the map. We've had big plays, but every single member of both squads really is pulling out all the stops.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone's really playing at a very, very high level here. Nobody really making too many mistakes. We haven't seen any slip-ups. We haven't seen anyone who has been allowed to really pop off, apart from CleanX, when it came down to that search and destroy and the comeback that came on through. Ravens will be thinking to themselves that this should be 3-0. They will be thinking to themselves, this one should be done. But
you say that, but it could be 3-0 the other way.
I don't know. I definitely, you know, look, Ravens...
250-235.
Yeah, Ravens...
6-5-3-2.
They would have been confident, though, heading into map number 1. They were well and truly in control in map number 2. And for the most part, their defenses look cleaner on the control. I think on the scale of things, if we look at a bigger picture, Ravens, this isn't because I'm wearing their jersey, have looked the kind of team that we expected heading into this series. And heading into this series, would we have expected them to be 2-1 up heading into map number 4? I'm not quite sure. But that's where we are. And Berlin is where we go once more. Hardpoint coming up. If Ultra want to continue and find themselves in a spot in the winner's bracket final, they need to win here on Berlin. Can they get it done?
Well, the lines have been drawn. Everybody's been divided on how this one will end. We can see it happen right here. The London Royal Ravens take this, they take the series 3-1 and move on to top 3 here of the Texas Major.
A lot of people had them on their lips for a team that could go on and do well. Ultra, maybe outside of a few people's vision, considering how a couple of their weeks had went previously. Cammy unwell in this team, faltered just a little bit. But can they come back here in map number 4 as CleanX kicks things off here and heading into P1?
Well, CleanX doing some serious work here. Teams up with Cammy eventually wrest that control away from London. Now going to try and play out, and CleanX is doing it so much, so well, over and over again. The gunny of CleanX is causing problems for the Ravens.
Insight getting up close and personal onto Zero as things get mixy over towards P1. It's going to be about that rotation over towards the office building for P2. Looking like all Ultra so far. The kills coming on through. CleanX having a hell of a start. Insight is first one here. Can he lock this one down with Afro towards the back? No, he cannot. It's going to be Ravens. The first one's over towards P2.
Ravens will have it. Keep an eye on the mini-map. Banty's going all the way around. He's going to try and cause a distraction for his team. If he can get a kill here and there, and Nastie just runs straight through him. Didn't even actually stop to fire that one. Banty gets cut down as well, though. It's still Ravens' control. Slight pinch coming in. It will be on Insight to try and win that gunfight. Has to back off for a second. Afro says thank you very much for that kill. And the Ravens continue to pile on the points.
And Ravens are looking for the points, and they're looking to try and flip the spawns as quickly as they possibly can as well. Right now, you find 37 seconds remaining. Vance will find 2 on the outside, though. He's going to find his break on through. Can't find the third. Zero locking this one down. A very tight game once more. Ultra trying to find a way in, and Afro just dancing around the stairs as best as he possibly can. Here comes the aggression. Afro will find 2. Up above is the 3rd, can't quite find it. Ultra keeping that spawn in over towards the dock side. They need to lock in this hill. They are behind. They can very much rectify that shortly.
Zero says, all right, we'll take those 10-second scrap away from you. Decides, though, to go back for the spawns, not having any of this pressure coming in from fire already. Inside going to be inside. Has reinforcement at the same time. Bans cleans out Afro, and Bans is having a very good game so far, 7-4.
Starting well. This rotation comes in once more. Can London find the break? They've been so good at it all season long. Can they find the break over towards P3? The time starts coming on through, and the answer to that question is yes. They're finding the kills towards the back. Some players have slipped the net. They get the spawns. Can they find the kills on the upside as well? Cammy, last one inside. Inside trying to find a way through as well. Gismo at the back. Shots are in. Good shots from inside. Can they find the break?
Just never know who's going to win any of these gunfights. Gun is flying in from all teams. They're just trying to get bodies in here at the same time. Afro hitting every slide cancel possible, but the guns are still firing. The Ravens, though, get bodies in eventually. Nastie finds 3 in the end, and they will clean them out. And now it's time for the rotation after the craziness that just occurred.
Can Gismo get a little bit of purchase over towards the train side? Shot's going to go in. I'm sure he's going to be shot in the back. The Ravens struggling to find a way through here over towards P4. I think as the timers went on, when it comes down to Vanguard, we're seeing teams picking up a little bit more time over towards P4 than we have done in the past. And this is why, because teams are forcing their way forward. They're shutting down the lanes. They're making it hard for the Ravens to even get sight on P4.
At the moment, you can actually see on the minimap, I think CleanX is actually hunting a player from the Ravens. No idea where they've gone. The Ravens slowly but surely, though, squeezing the pressure here, trying to get players in here. And CleanX is actually just off to the races. He's going to try and get this flank as well. Ravens have not done a very successive job of shutting down this hill at the moment.
I mean, this is becoming a little bit of a money hill here for Ultra. They're finding the kills, but so is Afro. Spawns coming in here for the Ultra, though, as they start to lose control of the point. Cammy still lingering, but now he's dead as well. Ultra gonna have to go for the retake. Ravens find a way through.
Ravens breaking in just enough time to keep their lead alive. And will have the advantage going into this next one at the same time. Nastie just gunning. 13-9 currently looking for this player. Camry firing back on all cylinders. And both these teams just slugging here. It's not really about that last hill. It will be about this next one.
Really good work there from the Ultra, get a lot of time. And that gunfight gonna go in the opposite direction, looking like Gismo was gonna find it. We head over towards P5. We haven't found a lot here when we have been in this game, but that's once again 4 dead for Ultra. They're slaying well.
All right, here comes the London pressure. They're gonna try and break this one open. So let's find out how they are sounding with a listen in.
100% cat.
What's it?
Close, and P1. Hit your out. Cammy 3 weak. Out left. Two tickets. Do you want to stack me? Out on me. I flip if you want, bro.
Jamie. Fucking hell, Jamie's top. Yo, Jamie's third. Jamie's third. Let's go Jamie third, okay?
One was outskirts too.
Sorry.
Still third weak, Jamie.
Yo, that's our fucking cat stamps.
Nice, still cat, both Cammy. Toby stabs. One shot.
Cammy done.
Nice, stay on that. Watching out, I got out.
Oh my god.
Nice, Toby. Watching out.
Let's see his quad cat, I think.
Catwalk one shot, Toby. One weak on me. 2 on me. I got one. Go try and keep finishing, bro. Keep finishing. One shot. He's absolute.
Pick him up. Give me a sec.
Laying down behind the pillar.
Boy, stand up.
Behind the door.
Go down.
I need out.
He's pushed out Cammy out behind the pillar.
P5 guys. Cat.
Give me time. Right side.
Ben, dead.
Nice.
Nice. Out of me.
Don't see him.
Can't see him. I'll get your pinch.
We can time get him. He's in the outer door.
Go, tell him. I got you out across.
It's good.
Drop the copy flank. One shot. Jamie dead. Good play with copy flank.
No, they can't. I got it. You got it, Trey. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, I got it. Listen, Linux is at new. Cammy Team Street.
Leaving you, Joe.
That's fine.
Send me fire, okay?
I spawn fire.
That's fine. Come right.
Fire tank dead.
Nice, good shots too.
The Cammy was hit.
That's on one shot.
Keep up someone.
Pass him street.
I'm open. Put it on.
Street. Cammy weak. Blue dogs boxes.
Two on tight.
Stay low. Come on.
One went open to top, okay? It's gonna be left.
I've got you second, right? He's
Rubble.
Yeah,
Rubble tank. Jump that rubble tank.
Rubble kill me. Throw in the street on me. One shot. Open, Jamie, get off.
Yep.
He's open. Throw in the street, dad. One more, nice. He's dead.
One more.
Time. Joey, kind of weak.
Right side.
Keep playing. Nice, Tommy, push out.
I'm one shot, bro. I'm already open. Give me a second. Detonated it?
One bit back, detonated.
Low dogs, trace.
Blue truck weak. I got front, I got my front. I got my front.
Broken Nasty. Pitch low windows.
Absolute low dog.
Low windows, absolutely. Absolute's gone open. Open.
I'm trying to flip.
Yeah, go flip.
Nice.
We didn't flip, we didn't split. Just one in. Go new.
Yeah, okay.
There's two on you guys.
Flip, nice.
One's
On
gonna
low
be
fire
back here,
right now.
bro.
On low fire.
Yeah, one's gonna be back here though, yeah. Probably low dogs.
I can't really push
Listen,
back.
yeah,
there.
listen,
Yeah, I think he might be already
we may have to play tight.
We might have to repinch.
Play tight.
Yep, maybe. I could repinch us again. Trying to hold
Play
you.
from fine, hit from.
Listen, I'm trying to watch deep back, okay?
I hit in front, Jamie.
Front.
Fire.
Weak, that's
Nice, good win.
I'm absolutely.
I'm
Low
just
fire,
in the back.
It's weak. He went front
Tornado, I'm
fire.
Front fire.
Yeah.
Where you spawn, Jimmy?
Nah,
Yeah,
yeah,
front
dive
2
from fire,
seconds.
bro. Dive from fire, Nasty. Came back window as well. Nice good shit, Nasty.
The fire, I don't know where fire's gone.
Back window.
Back window.
Coming from windows. Back door windows, shiny low.
He's hit me out. One's front right, pushed out. Close left, Toby, close left. Close left.
I'll be Toby.
I'm on the street, Dad.
It was Gismo.
Joey, one shot. Went back into time.
Dead.
Nice. Maybe a fire.
Nasty dead.
Down the pillar. Yep.
Nice, good shit.
Back door.
I killed Joey.
Nice.
I get time.
On below fire for a sec.
Yeah, we spawn front still. I'm going new.
I already went back door, Jamie. Back door.
I'll do it.
Pillar, green with you.
One fire as well. Fire's going out mid, Nasty.
I'm trying to hold you on.
Nice, go in.
Who looking for?
Afro, Gismo, Nasty.
Hold him right still.
I'll see the gun now.
Afro and Trey.
Gismo's fire gone right.
All right, don't say we don't ever do anything for you. Double listening, London and Toronto. Difference in comms, though, a little bit faster, a little bit more punchy from the Ravens. Ultra, cool, calm, collected as always, but there is very little daylight between these two teams.
Yeah, there's nothing. It's just Ravens picking up that final 20 or 30 there. Heading back over towards P3. They're going to find a way through here once more. Ultra need to find way back into this map. It's very, very close, but it's a way back into the series. Mans towards the back is going to find two. Can he find the third? Not quite. That back spawn for the Ravens has really spoiled the party here for Ultra, who in a good spot. Heading over towards P4. Remember last time on this rotation, they picked up a lot of time. They have not been offered that luxury this time around. Ravens will lock this in. This is very, very close still.
The Ultra are falling over and over again to the guns, but Cammy opens up a little bit. Afro, though, just comes screaming through, and he is gunning over and over again. Both teams just throwing haymakers at each other, refusing to let it go, but it will be the Ravens who are now in the lead as we head into P5. 206 to 175. It's still very much anyone's game.
Yeah, it's the first time we've really seen anything more than a 5-point difference between these two teams. It's going to be London, the ones that start to stretch their legs just a little bit. Things are going to start getting a bit crazy if Zero's finding shots like that. Ravens advance on in. Time on the board for them. It's all about the spawns over to P1 and limiting the damage for both teams on this hill. Who's going to come out on top?
Well, the Ultra are going to need to pull out some magic here if they want to take this to a game number 5. They are behind in the series and behind in the hard points. Every point that ticks up for London on this hill is huge as Afro just keeps on gunning, but CleanX has the answer. Again, CleanX with the 3. Just trying to stay alive, but desperately getting every single one of these points as they look for the rotation. It could be huge. CleanX is staying alive and gunning over and over again.
It's all about these rotations, though. Who's going to be here? It's going to be Nasty. He's going to get cut down. Vance will find the kill. Ravens will find that tiny bit of scrap that was there. But the rotations are in for Ultra. This is their opportunity to level the score back up. They can't quite win here, of course, but they can be very close if they can lock in every single second. The push is going to start coming in here for the Royal Ravens. The kills are being traded in the middle of the map, though. Can Nasty and Afro do the work? Yes, they can. They're trying to find a breakthrough. Look at the spawns here for Ultra. They're not ideal.
Oh, a lot of pressure, The Ravens have cleared it out. The Ravens have cleared it out, and now Ultra are failing. They have to get somewhere near it. Nero gets another kill. London are now sitting in the driver's seat, and the Ultra have to find something. Here they go. Maybe one last push, one last roll of the dice. They need these kills to go their way. CleanX opens proceedings.
Afro surely going to get traded. Does so against Insight. Trying to find a way through. Cammy finds one. Insight. You need more than the pistol as Nasty turns. Vance gets inside, 12 seconds to play for, but it's all about this rotation. But Ultra need to stay because Ravens can still win. They can't do it now. It's on the rotation as Vance finds 2. Huge gunfights coming.
Here come the Ultra, here they come, one last chance again, somehow they held on. Already Gismo gets the first zero, gets another one. Insight trying to put pressure through, it's Cammy, it's Afro. It's Afro and Insight! Insight wins it in the end, but he's gonna go down. The Ultra are not close enough. They need to dive and scream in, they're not gonna do it, surely! It's gonna be gunned down, it's still 2-9, and I don't know who's won! It's the Ravens! have taken this 3-1 there in the end. Statistically the better team, and on the day at the major, the better team once again.
Slaying wins the game. Fantastic breaks over towards P1 on that final rotation. Just put the Ravens in such a supreme spot. And because Ultra, they have to fight for every second, the Ravens can take that advantage and they can rotate and they win the gunfights. What a series. There wasn't many big, huge moments, but how close. It was a game of chess that ultimately the youngsters on the Ravens will win.
And that is London moving forward to top 3. Unreal play from them in the end. They took down the Ultra. Statistically, one of the best teams here this weekend and proving it time and time again. Huge plays coming out of so many players, but I've got to say this, still pretty even across the board. Like, how difficult is it to actually separate these two?
For me, Zero played a really influential part there as the AR kind of not parking the bus, but finding himself in those supreme positions and finding those kills, especially over towards P1. They set up so well. Zero kind of plays over around towards top 3. He can watch the cross when they spawn out towards the back, and ultimately that's where the biggest damage was done over towards P1 on that final rotation. And then that's when Ultra, they get caught kind of reaching. They need as many points. They can't give the scrap away. Huge plays from the London Royal Ravens. And a lot of people talk about Hardpoint, some of the best teams in the game. These guys are right up there.
And that's going to be difficult for every other team to deal with in this event. We wondered, can they translate everything we've been seeing from in the qualifiers? Will it come to the major? And it has arrived. Scary prospect.
Yeah, a lot of people question, you know, when seeing how well the Ravens are playing, you know, are these guys just onliners? Are they absolutely frying? Well, very much. They are putting it to the sword, that opinion.
I'm fairly certain every time we saw Afro kill somebody, he was just firing a howitzer. I swear it was one bullet. Just everybody dying on his screen.
Deleting people across every single map. It was only really a clutch up from the Ultra that found themselves in this series. And honestly, I think Ravens will feel super confident about that. Even though they lose that 6-5 S&D, they will think in their minds that they could have won that as well. But the hardpoint performances is what makes the difference. The slaying is what makes the difference. Teams are really going to have to bring the fire if they want to beat this Ravens team. And I just wonder, though, who's going to be the team to face them in that winner's bracket final. What a prospect of a game that is, especially for a European's perspective, especially somebody who's in the venue as well. What a game that could be.
Yeah, it certainly is. Well, we had a few delays, a few stops and starts during that game, but ended up being pretty fantastic as we thought it would do. Of course, you know, Ultra are not out of this tournament. They still have a run they could potentially make, and the Ravens, well, they'll be getting ready for the next game.
Yeah, which should be a very interesting one tomorrow. They get themselves ready, but I know you guys all at home and in the venue are very much ready and waiting for the next one. It's taken a while to get here, it has to be said. But when we have eventually got there, I'm sure it's going to be absolutely fantastic. But commiserations to Ultra, has to be said. You mentioned they drop into the losers bracket. Some very good teams in there as well, though I'm sure we'll find out what happens at the end of the day.
We certainly will. Well, it's time for the Game Fuel Victory Spotlight. Let's send it over to Miles with Zero.
Thank you very much, lads. Woo! Zero, what a grueler that was, mate, but well done. You come out with the win in the end. How the hell did that go down? Can you put it into words?
Best words to describe it is a grueler. You know, a lot of love for the boys over there. You know, they've been doing bits. Conveniently, when I weren't in the league, though. So, you know, I'm back now, and, you know, better than ever.
The record remains strong, obviously, against Ben.
Yeah, 10-1.
10-1.
10-1 on land. On land.
That's very important to know. I mean, again, you said you're out of it, you know, for a while. Of course, you weren't able to play in the league for a fair bit due to COVID, due to various reasons. Now you're back. You've brought the team back to an incredible level. London are in the best spot they've been, I think, since the league started. How's that feeling for you guys?
You know, like I said, I couldn't get out for London in Cold War, and you know, it mentally affected me. Blah blah blah. You know, but you know, shout out Dominate. Known him since I've been competing. One of the greatest coaches out there. Just sits behind the scenes, doesn't do anything crazy, just helps us all. And you know, he brought me back. And you know, I told him, you know what, let's get more points. You know, let's accumulate more points than you got last year in the first week. You know, it's a good feeling. And you know, like I said, this is nothing to do with me. You know, I got 3 superstars on my team. You know, and it's a pleasure to work with them, and it's a pleasure to mentor them into what they want to be. And I'm just glad to be a role model for them.
Absolute champion, mate. Right, so winners bracket finals next. Who would you rather face, FaZe or OpTic?
Give me anyone. I don't care. I got Jay Gismo. I got Afro. I got Nastie. You know, I don't care who I play. Put me in front of them and we'll just try our best.
Fantastic, mate. Thank you very much. Congrats again. Enjoy the rest. We will see you tomorrow. That was our Game Fuel Victory Spotlight. Desk, take it away.
He has Gismo, he has Afro, he has Nastie, and now he has a top 3 placement here at the Major 1. But I'm nameless. Anything that you throw at London Royal Ravens, they just seem to overcome and adapt. When I saw that control round number 3, the way they were able to slow down the pace and change it up, we saw Afro going off. But then the very next round, see them speed it up. It seems like London find a way to win anytime.
It was a defensive battle, right? And guess who took over this series? It was Zero. This guy popped off literally in every single respawn. Insight got shut down. And that's what you need, man. We talked about the series. We looked at the map layout, and we were like, this is going to be an AR battle. And the AR stepped up and Trey.
Yes, and Chance, London Royal Ravens, main stage, beginning of the year, power rankings, wasn't really working for them. And now, I mean, they're a staple.
Incredibly impressive performance, right? I think any concerns I had were about how can they handle the main stage when the pressure is on, and the pressure was on from start to finish. I mean, Zero called it a grueler. That is the exact word for it. Incredibly close. Hard point. Toronto battles back in the S&D after all the delays. Even control around 5. The final hard point goes down to the wire. I mean, some of these engagements, it's literally just trades back and forth, everybody on point, and if Ravens can handle that kind of pressure, I mean, who knows how far they can go.
One of the most evenly contested matches that I've seen all week long, by the way. It could have gone either way, but one of the players that really stepped out in a big way, and he caught your eye, iLLeY, Nastie, was disgusting.
Nastie, he did what he did yesterday. He completely transformed. We knew what he was capable of, and he showcased that in this series alongside Zero. Really humble interview, by the way, to be like, oh, you know, I got Gismo, I got Afro, I got Nastie on my side. I don't got to do a whole lot. This man had a 1.53 in the Gavutu hardpoint, 1.42 in the search and destroy, and excuse me, he went 26 and 20 in that final hardpoint. Step it up, man. Give yourself some credit. You had a lights out series.
All right, you guys hear that right now.
Belly.
OpTic's walking to the main stage, and the crowd is getting ready right now. If you guys aren't here, trust me, you're missing out. Chance, when it comes to this team stepping on that stage, the green wall behind him, nothing but love, man.
Dude, I have been waiting for this match since Thursday. Both of the teams get their wins in dominant fashion. We have waited 3 years.
3 years,
Chance. Moment, man. Like, we got the 1v1s against Cellium and Scump is like our fleeting memories of this match. I mean, this is the one that genuinely everybody has been waiting for, setting the stage to fight for that top 3. Everyone is going to be excited for this.
And OpTic is hitting their stride, 12-1 map count in their last 4 matches. And on top of that, I mean, iLLeY and Shotzzy beat FaZe for a world championship. There's so many storylines here, going back to that 1v1 with Cellium and Scump as well. This is going to be an absolutely insane match. Map-wise, these guys match up so well, and there's never been a better time for OpTic to beat FaZe than now.
I have to ask you, you played against OpTic a few times in your career, man. What is it like when you're facing them and the green wall is just going against you?
Hey, all I know is I'm never sneak defusing a bomb on OpTic. It's just impossible. The whole crowd just going nuts. But, I mean, obviously, you want to beat them really bad when the fans are going insane like that. And looking at a team like FaZe, Simp, who's been the bad boy of the scene, he is going to want to pulverize this team. This is definitely a huge ego check on both sides. These guys want to cement themselves.
iLLeY, so far today, we've had banger matchups. We just saw the Titans of Europe face off against each other. Let's go ahead and put a bow on this series. And how do you think the next one's going to go?
I think it could go either way, honestly. After that EU1, London ending up taking the dub, Toronto getting sent down to losers. I don't think it's the last we're going to see of them, Billy.
Nope, not at all. Ladies and gentlemen, so far this event has been incredible. Like I said, if you're not here, we have one more day. See if the tickets are sold out, right?
I mean, if they're not sold out.
It looks like it. I mean, I don't see any OP seats behind us.
There we go.
Hey, make some noise for a sold-out crowd.
Go ahead.
That's what we like to hear, man.
You turn around and the fans are looking at us. They're hungry for the hype right now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, coming up next, we're going to have OpTic Texas facing off against Atlanta FaZe, an undefeated team here in the CDL. This is going to be it. You guys are going to make sure you're going to want to catch this one. But coming up after the break is going to be exactly that. It's going to be nothing but hype, and you're going to love who's going to be commentating that. We'll see you guys on the other side for the biggest matchup, in my opinion, here at Major 1.